threat is northeast of you guys right now. So there's the Heltonville area. This might also clip the far northwestern corner of Jackson County, Indiana. That will stay northwest of Brownstown, but Freetown, that circulation could end up being pretty close to your area, perhaps tracking just off to the north. Latest track from Alden here, Norman at about 7:15. Again, you're going to hear some of these similar towns. We need to repeat them and refresh the times as we get radar updates. So heading to, again, the Freetown area right around 7:30, Acme 7:35, Mount Healthy 7:40, Bethany at 7:46, in the Rostown area at 7:51. Now that we've got that track, Alden, let's go slowly down the line and look at what other severe thunderstorm warnings we have. We also have this information at the bottom of your screen. We want you all to be prepared throughout the viewing area for this threat of severe weather. You can get the WHAS11 app. It has an interactive radar. It has notifications on it. Have that weather ready to go, fresh batteries, cell phone all charged up, first aid kit ready to go in that safe place in your shelter, maybe some pillows, blankets, and some snacks ready to go if you have to get down to your place of shelter. Down here into Grayson County, it looks like the far western section of Grayson County is now under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that one goes until 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. It includes Butler, Grayson, Logan, and Ohio counties. Just to the southwest of that, we're going to watch this closely. That is a tornado warning. That's just off to the southwest of Grayson County, and if you follow that, and if that circulation holds together, that might be running right down the western Kentucky Parkway through Grayson County in the next half hour to 45 minutes. So that's a threat area that exists that we'll watch very closely. Let's go kind of middle ground here, Alden. We'll go back to Metro Louisville. You can see the storms lining up just to the west of Cordon. So we're talking about 30, 40 miles west of downtown Louisville is where we have the main line here. This is our main event as far as that severe weather threat for tonight. Anywhere along that edge, there could be some wind gusts, some pockets of winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. We know what that can do. We've had recent winds like that through the area. It can topple some tree limbs, maybe topple some trees and cause some power outages across the area. So we hope you can avoid the damage, but that threat is there for the next 2 or 3 hours. If there's any good news is it's moving rapidly. So we're not talking about a flooding threat. This is going to be in and out. You might have to wait 15 minutes in your shelter before that threat ends. This whole line is moving east at about 45 to 55 miles per hour. That's going to move it out of here really quickly. I'd say by maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock, we'll see that severe weather threat coming to an end. Yeah, you can go ahead and put that track back on that whole line there, Alden, and we can get an idea when it's going to be heading into some other communities and cities. So heading towards Salem, Indiana at about 7:15, so only in about 10 or 15 minutes heading to your area. Into Litchfield at about 6:40 Central, that's 7:40 Eastern Time, into Louisville Metro as we get closer to 8 p.m., which is what our Futurecast was locking on to a little bit earlier this evening in the newscast. Bardstown heading your way at about 8:25 and into Frankfort at about 8:50. So a rapidly moving line, and every once in a while you get these little kinks in the line, and you can get some bow echoes, what we call it. That's where we get a little bit of a curvature, and that apex is where we can get some damaging winds. And on the ends of some of these bow echoes, you can get little, what we call bookend vortices, and that's where we get these little spin-up tornadoes that we'll have to watch out for. So there is the line lining up just out to the west of Louisville. So it looks like within about an hour, it's going to be heading into Metro Louisville. So you've got a little time to prepare. If you've been out grabbing dinner, maybe grabbing some groceries, running some errands, you've got a little bit of time to get back home before that line moves in. Let's head back to that tornado warned storm, Alden. That is in northeastern Lawrence County in Indiana. That tornado warning continues until 7:30. That's why we're on here live with you. That's where the threat exists. That red area right there that bumps up to Freetown in northwestern Jackson County is where we have that tornado warning. That is the area of concern. That's where we have some circulation. That's right along Indiana 58. This is about, I'd say, 5 miles to the northeast of Bedford right now. It's tracking just to the north of Highway 50, heading towards the Norman area. If you live in Norman, Norman, around Indiana 58, you want to be seeking shelter at this time. Here are some other spots that need to take shelter as quickly as you possibly can. Zelma, that's heading your way in about 7:18. Norman 7:23. Kurtz at 7:30, right around 7:30, 7:35 into the Freetown area that we mentioned at about 7:40. Freetown Elementary School 7:43, 7:53 into the Acme area, and Mount Healthy at 8:03. We can put on the storm relative or the base velocity, Alden, and check out the circulation, see if it's still persisting up there in northeastern. Yeah, so the blue colors indicate winds usually in excess of 60 miles per hour. So that's heading away from the radar. That's heading toward, this is the circulation that we have. And that is where we have the potential for a tornado. Right now, Alden, radar indicated, no reports so far from what you've seen?
Correct. Just radar indicated hail of about 1 inch in diameter and still moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. There haven't been any updates on extending that yet.
And usually when we get these rotating thunderstorms, these supercells, they are so strong, the supercell itself, that it grows tall enough that it can produce some quarter-size hail typically, which can do some damage to cars and perhaps the roof of your house as well. So you'll definitely want to just stay in your place of shelter. This is now moving into the far northeastern corner of Lawrence County in Indiana. This is right on the very northern edge of the WHAS11 viewing area. This is about 55 miles to the northwest of Louisville at this time. The entire line, though, is only about 30 or 40 miles to the west of Louisville, as we saw just a little bit earlier. So again, another look at that latest track as this is moving northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. It's heading towards the Heltonville area at about 7:18. Kurtz 7:24 is the updated track. Freetown, we just mentioned you at about 7:30. Spurgeon's Corner 7:35. Beck's Grove at about 7:38. Mount Healthy 7:45 and into the Bobtown area at 7:49. And by that time, that's taking it out of our viewing area into the coverage area of Indianapolis once you get north of Jackson County in Indiana. Let's go back to reflectivity, Alden, and again, we'll just go down this line. Let's put the loop on it. This whole line moving directly east at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. So that would put it within the next 2 hours heading towards Frankfort and into the Lexington market and out of our area. So it looks like we've got about 2, maybe 3 hours of really watching the severe weather threat and being weather aware, extra weather alert. We've got that tornado watch that continues until 11 p.m., hopefully canceled early for our area. Right now that tornado watch is from Clark County, Indiana, areas along Interstate 64, and it points to the south. So it includes Shelby County all the way down to Adair County, to Grayson County, and we do have the threatening weather getting a lot closer to you guys in Litchfield. You've got a little bit of time here to get indoors, the western sections of Grayson County under that severe thunderstorm warning. So back to reflectivity here, Alden, and actually we haven't checked out the correlation coefficient. That's a look at where we have some potential debris in that circulation in northeastern Lawrence County. So as we zoom in there, do you see anything significant? You've got a little closer view there, Alden.
No, nothing.
Perhaps some, just maybe some dust flying around or something like that.
It's probably picking up on the hail that's in it.
Yeah, some of the hail. So it doesn't look like we have any organized debris signature, which is good. So that lowers the chances that there's an actual tornado on the ground, but we're going to watch this very closely. Plus, it's a little ways away from the radar in Louisville or Indianapolis, but we still have that area right there in red. That is the tornado warning that we have across the area. 7:10, the tornado warning continues until 7:30 p.m., and that is where we have the potential for some damaging wind gusts in this colored area right there. So let's go back to our regular view of radar. This is northeast of Bedford is where we have that threat. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that covers the western half of Jackson County as well. That was recently put out. So that is a look at the hail core. Now we're really moving into the far northeastern corner of Lawrence County. Within a couple minutes, that's going to be out of Lawrence County and shifting into northwestern Jackson County. And it looks like that center of circulation, that hail core, might just barely bypass you in the Freetown area and stay just off to the northwest. So we're looking at here that center of circulation, that possible tornado. Right now it's radar indicated, no report officially that there's a tornado on the ground, but it looks like that would be heading over 135 here in northwestern Jackson County. The rotation not looking quite as impressive perhaps at this time near the Heltonville area. There's Indiana 58 and Highway 50 right here just to get your bearings. So once again, let's go ahead and back it out. All this activity that we have here over the next couple of hours is forming ahead of a cold front. We have a wind advisory as well on top of the tornado watch. So even if you don't have a thunderstorm, you could have some wind gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour, which can also maybe bring down some tree limbs, maybe cause a couple power outages and blow things around the yard. So if you do have time before that line moves in, you might want to put some things away because it's going to get rather gusty out there. This is some impressive stuff to the southwest of Hardinsburg and Litchfield. Do we still have that tornado warning just south of Litchfield, just off to the southwest? It looks like we still do, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go hit just the warnings graphic, just so we can see all the different warnings that we have across the area. So we've got the severe thunderstorm warning, western half of Jackson County. In the middle of that little tornado warning where it looks like it could be on a weakening trend moving into the northwestern corner of Jackson County. And then this whole area has a severe thunderstorm warning on it that is right on the edge of Breckinridge County, Grayson County, that stretches all the way down to Bowling Green, and then the very far southwestern edge of that severe thunderstorm warning is the tornado warned area. This goes until 7:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Central time. But that area of concern is definitely right on your doorstep here in Breckinridge and Grayson counties. There's Rough River, and then we've got Nolin Lake right there too. So all these areas need to be getting indoors and definitely thinking about seeking shelter if a warning is issued pretty soon for you. So that threat off to the southwest of Louisville. If you're not getting damaging wind gusts, you're going to be getting some very heavy rain very soon. That's right near Caneyville, very western sections of Grayson County right there. Again, there's Rough River, Rough River Lake. Heavy rain coming into Breckinridge County over Hardinsburg, lots of lightning and thunder as well. Can we hit the lightning count, Alden? And I bet there's hundreds of lightning strikes. These are some powerful thunderstorms. So we've got 384 lightning strikes here over the last 15 minutes to a half hour. So as this moves through, even if you don't get the damaging wind gusts, you're going to get a lot of lightning strikes. Anytime you hear thunder, you want to go ahead and move indoors. And let's get some of those safety tips ready to go. Let's be prepared. If you have the tornado warning in your area tonight, next hour or two is going to be the peak of our severe weather event for tonight. Find a sturdy shelter away from the doors and the windows, preferably the basement, the lowest level of your home. Again, as many walls as you can get between you and your outdoors. Abandoned mobile homes, find that sturdier shelter beforehand, before the event. Have that more sturdy shelter, that place to go. Severe weather safety kit, always a good idea with the first aid, flashlight, candles, charged cell phones, maybe some snacks. Don't forget your shoes in case damage happens across your area. Cover up with pillows, blankets, and anything to block that debris as well. So we're up to 7:15. We've had this tornado warning in Lawrence County, and now starting to move into northwestern Jackson County in Indiana. We're talking about an area about 55 miles to the north of Louisville. And can we query that blue area right there, Alden? That should be probably around 60 mile per hour winds, 67 around Clear Spring. So even if you're not getting a tornado, you get the potential of some damaging winds in excess of 60, 70 miles per hour. So that can do damage to your property, some things around your house, and maybe cause some power outages as well. We'll get a check and see if we've had any damage here. So far, we haven't had any reports. We don't have an official report that this is on the ground, but this is where we have some rotation. So this is northeast of Heltonville. You guys are in the clear as far as that tornado warning, the Heltonville area. That is now northeast of you. And Bedford, Indiana, you're in the clear as far as that tornado threat. It is to the northeast of your area as well. So as this continues to track to the northeast, that's going to be heading towards the Bald Knobs area at about 7:30, Spurgeon's Corner at about 7:34, into the Becks Grove area at about 7:37, and then Mount Healthy at about 7:43. Again, give or take. Sometimes we're we're off by a few minutes on some of those times right there, but it gives you an idea when you need to be seeking shelter, which is pretty much now if you just heard your town name. So this is starting to move into the northwestern area of Jackson County. So it looks like this will stay off to the northwest of Seymour, northwest of Brownstown. It'll stay off to the west of North Vernon as well. Let's back up just a little bit, Alden, so we can see some of the surrounding communities. Just want to show you where you are in good shape. So that threat is northeast of Bedford, no problem there. If you're in Guthrie, you're very close to that warning. It's off to the east of your area too. There's Seymour, Indiana, so it looks like that threat will stay just to the northwest of you guys. Brownstown stays to the north of you. However, we do see some of these strong straight line winds here cruising down Highway 50. That could bump up into Brownstown here in the next 10 or 15 minutes. That might give us some pockets of damaging winds on the ground. The radar beam's up probably 3,000–4,000 feet, so it's hard to tell if that's making it to the ground, but certainly could be. So this is look at the wind speeds that we're looking at, not your typical radar that you're used to. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning that has been expanded, it looks like, Alden, now to cover basically all of Jackson County. That is also into the North Vernon area. So we're looking at a lot of this area around Highway 50 under that severe thunderstorm warning. Now 7:17. Did the tornado warning actually go away here, Alden?
It looks like they're going to let it expire, but that new severe thunderstorm warning does mention the threat of wind speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour, and the hail isn't even an inch in diameter, so it's really going to be more of a strong wind threat with that new severe thunderstorm warning than it will be a tornado, at least for right now. We were mentioning that Boeing segment there between Freetown and Brownstown along US 50. That's where the National Weather Service in Indianapolis, those counties are in their jurisdiction, is mentioning that possibility of considerable, the risk for thunderstorm wind damage, they say, is considerable with those wind speeds upwards of 70 miles per hour. And that warning is until 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah,
the storms themselves can create winds like that, but this is also moving east at about 50 miles per hour. So it's packing a punch here in the northwestern side of Jackson County. So we've got Jennings County, a large portion of Jennings County under that severe thunderstorm warning. That's probably, I'm guessing, until about 8 p.m. Alden.
Yes.
The severe thunderstorm warning. So on that track, that's where we have the potential of some damaging winds. So there's that latest track heading to the Medora area at about basically right now. It's right on top of you guys. It looks like the worst of it maybe just north of you. Into Brownstown at about 7:30, Seymour 7:40. So even if this is not a tornado warning, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. It can still cause damage. You don't want to be outside when you've got the potential of winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. We're talking almost hurricane force winds here along and just north of Highway 50. That's just out to the west of Brownstown. Heading to the Four Corners area at 7:50 and at 8 p.m. into the North Vernon area. Let's go back to regular radar.
And as an update on that tornado warning, they did cancel it for Lawrence County, Indiana, but they're letting it continue for Jackson County, Indiana until 7:30, and we're about within that time period where, unless they issue new warning, they're probably just going to go ahead and let it expire at 7:30.
And let that severe thunderstorm warning cover that. So Freetown, you're just on the edge of that little tornado warning that we have just in this northwestern area of Jackson County. So again, let's go ahead and back it out just a little bit. We're talking areas about 55 miles to the north of Louisville. If you were to take I-65 to the north, we're just out to the west of that. So that's right around exit 50, the Seymour exit. You take that west on Highway 50, you're going to run into some of those damaging winds. You can see the deep red colors, potential of inch-size hail that can do damage to your car, possibly the roof of your home. So it looks like that threatening weather is east of you now, Bedford, so you're in the clear there. And then Mitchell. Let's expand out even more and see what's behind this. It's going to be this leading edge that causes the most problems. Notice there are some, what we call some kinks. It kind of bends around, not perfectly north and south, and that can cause some trouble sometimes when you get these little bends in the radar and in the squall line itself. So off to the southwest, this is Grayson County, revisiting Grayson County with this severe thunderstorm warning over the western sections of Grayson County until 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time. So just a cluster of very heavy rainfall, lots and lots of lightning strikes. We've got hundreds of lightning strikes with this squall line moving to the east at about 45 to 55 miles per hour. Heavy rain coming down to Hardinsburg. Let's go back to Metro Louisville, and we'll look at the rain as it gets a little bit closer. It looks like it's likely moving into Harrison County now. So you're getting the light, steady rain in Corden, and we can actually take I think we've got a camera pointed out that way, Alden. We'll probably see a darkening sky there. So this is our U of L campus camera looking over the U of L campus with our U of L Health camera network, looking off to the southwest. So looking a little bit darker on the horizon, kind of the calm before the storm here in Louisville. So in Louisville, we've got maybe about a half hour to 45 minutes before that squall line is going to be rolling through. This is our downtown cam looking from on top of the Galt House looking out to the west, and this is going to get darker and darker as that approaches us. And so as we get closer to sunset, that's when we're going to have this squall line moving over Interstate 65 into parts of Metro Louisville as well. Back to the radar here, Alden, and we will check out the entire squall line once again. There is a big severe thunderstorm warning to the north, kind of a gap in between. I guess, Alden, we just don't have any severe winds so far punching through these storms just out to the west of Louisville.
Correct. Nothing severe there, and I haven't seen anything, any new discussions about any new warning issuance, but they're probably waiting. They're putting a lot of lead time on these storms, so you have a lot of time to prepare for them. So we haven't even seen that main line that we're talking about for Grayson County, just off to the west there, making it into Grayson County yet. It still has a few miles to go. So as it probably gets closer to Grayson County is when I'd imagine we would see some new warnings issued, and also possibly for Breckinridge County as we head over the next 30 minutes or so. But for right now, it's just that activity in southern Indiana and the southern edge here that's kind of along and south of the Western Kentucky Parkway.
And then let's look at the hail product too, because when we have a supercell, that's a look at how organized that supercell is. If you can get some large hail, that is an updraft with possibly winds going straight up to 100 miles per hour. And then on the other side of the storm, you got a downdraft, and that's where you can get some of those damaging wind gusts. But, so the hail not looking too significant here, just to the southwest of Litchfield and Grayson County. That's that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. And as we make our way up to the north, just checking out the hail within the squall line. Again, we're not seeing a whole lot of the hail. Thankfully, that's not going to be the biggest threat that we're looking at. It's going to be damaging straight line winds, our biggest issue, which can cause some tree damage, some power line damage. Sometimes can do some damage to sheds, but usually not a lot to your home structure. As we look at the radar view, we'll go back to reflectivity. So we're seeing it get closer to Interstate 65, looking kind of ragged here. Definitely not the most organized squall line we've ever seen. And it looks like the lightning concentration, which shows that the storms are a little bit stronger, is in Breckinridge County and just to the southwest of Grayson County. There's 411 lightning strikes now. That's up from just a little while ago. That means this line is maintaining its strength, and we need to watch every segment very, very closely. We've got about 5 more minutes with that tornado warned area in northwestern Jackson County. That looks like it'll stay north of you in Brownstown and northwest of you in Seymour. With that said, you've got the potential of some damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Again, the hail tracker not showing a whole lot right there at this time. 724, this is the Freetown area. That is the tornado warning that we have. So there's been some circulation right there. It's out of Lawrence County, so you're over with the tornado warning, and it looks like that severe weather threat is coming to an end for the rest of the night, actually, in Lawrence County and the Bedford area as well. Right along this leading edge is where we have the potential of damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's that blue area right there. That's Highway 50. Brownstown to Freetown is where we have that blue. That's our color palette, and when it gets into the blue color, we're talking 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, and that is rolling due east. So that would put it up to Seymour possibly within the next 10 to 15 minutes. You guys just want to stay inside with this severe thunderstorm warned area, which includes all of Jackson County, Indiana, and then a large portion of Jennings County. And that does include Seymour. It does include North Vernon in Jennings County. So here's that latest track that Alden just put on it, heading into the Brownstown area basically now. Again, this is severe thunderstorm warning. Just stay inside. It might get loud. The trees might be blowing around in New Elizabethtown at 7:30, Seymour at about 7:35 to 7:40. So that's about 15 minutes away. Into the Crothersville area at about 7:45, into Four Corners at about 7:50. All right, then that would put it over Interstate 65. Let's go ahead and keep the velocity and just look down the line, see if we see any other bright spots. We don't want to see the blue. That's basically the moral of the story here. So this is likely some winds in excess of about 40 miles per hour. It's not severe. There's Hardinsburg. We're moving into Harrison County. The winds don't look too terrible here around Leavenworth, heading into Harrison County.
Looks like we have a new tornado warning that was just issued. That is for Grayson County. Yep. That's just come out. Let's look at that. That is for
there's the Western
County until, when is this until? Until 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
So another half hour.
It's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located at 9 miles east of Hartford, moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. Wow. So that is moving very, very quickly. It
is trucking along the Western Kentucky Parkway. So there's Beaver Dam, and then here's Caneyville. This is the western half of Grayson County. So there's a little bit of a track there for you. So here's the latest where you need to be seeking shelter right now. Tornado warning in Grayson County until 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time over the next half hour. Heading to Dog Walk at about 6:30. These are almost all Central Times, by the way. Just keep that in mind. Do stop into the Caneyville area, 6:37. Short Creek, 6:40. Duff, 6:45. Litchfield at about 6:50. Clarkson, Kentucky, just after 6:50, and then into the Eastview area at 8:03 Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. Let's go ahead and put the reflectivity on that one here, Alden, and check out what kind of organization we have. These red areas also indicate the potential of some hail. So we're just kind of moving down the line back to where we possibly have some circulation. Is this Louisville's radar?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, maybe storm relative. Maybe that'll look a little bit better here. We're just not seeing anything looking too great as far as rotation down to the southwest. It is pretty far from the radar. So it looks like just east of Beaver Dam is where we're seeing that circulation right there. So that's green towards and red away from the radar. There is that circulation heading towards the Horse Branch area. So here is the Western Kentucky Parkway. Highway 62 right there in western, just outside of western Grayson County. There's 7:36. An update on some of the times here with that track. This is Horse Branch, Do Stop, Pine Knob, Short Creek, Indian Valley, Cobbler's Knob, Litchfield, Centerview. So if you've heard your community or a community nearby, you want to be seeking shelter at this time. This is for about a half hour as it moves through the Grayson County areas. Between Rough River and Nolin is where we have the threat at this time. Let's go back to radar. Regular reflectivity here, Alden, and we'll check out this is just, it's not super organized. It is a big blob of very heavy rainfall, embedded, damaging wind gusts likely, and this is moving east. Alden, you said 60 miles per hour, so that is moving very quickly towards the Caneyville area. This is just outside of Litchfield. That loop looks pretty good here, and moving into Hardinsburg, some very heavy rainfall. But not a warning for Breckinridge County at this time. But at any moment you can get some pulsing up of some of these supercells, and they can put down some damaging winds. It looks like we'd have the potential of some hail, about nickel or a quarter size hail, so probably about a ½ inch to an inch size hail, moving just outside of Grayson County, and the entire line's moving east at about 50, but the individual cells themselves are moving northeast anywhere from around 50 to 60 miles per hour. So again, they are zipping along here, and that is the Western Kentucky Parkway. So between Welch's Creek, Horse Branch is where we have this area of concern at the moment. It's pretty far away from the radar. The two tornado warnings that we've had have both been about 50 to 60 miles away from Louisville to the far northwest and now to the far southwest. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. Please still be seeking shelter if you are. I mean, not super impressive from what we've seen Alden, I mean, as far as the rotation with that tornado warning. But have there been any reports of anything on the ground with that?
No reports there. This is just radar indicated.
Okay. So radar indicated tornado warned storm, and this is for Grayson County until 8 p.m. Eastern time and 7 p.m. Central time. And then on top of that, we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes all of Grayson County, also the western section there of Hardin County. Let's go ahead and just do warnings. We'll just kind of clear up the map, get rid of some clutter so we can kind of look at a little more organization here. So we've got severe thunderstorm warning. That is for much of Jackson County and Jennings County, possibly winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. And then we've got a large area of Breckinridge County, western Hardin, all of Grayson County under a severe thunderstorm warning. So anywhere within that big glob that we just called it, or I just called it, is where you could have some damaging wind gusts as well, over 60 or 70 miles per hour. So right now, Louisville's getting kind of gapped in the severe weather. Hopefully that will continue. We don't want anybody to get any of the severe weather, but when there's an alert, we're going to get it right to you here. So we're still on with you at 7:30. That tornado warning that we had in northwestern Jackson County is over with at 7:30. Then we just got this brand new one for Grayson County. So that is a very healthy signature right there. That indicates a hail core that's going to be right between Highway 62, Western Kentucky Parkway. That's right between Beaver Dam and Caneyville. And so that's going to be sliding into the western areas of Grayson County here very soon. And then just north of that, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Hardinsburg, so Highway 62 right there. And much of Breckinridge County is getting some very, very heavy rainfall. There might be some ponding of water, some poor drainage areas. Watch out for some flooding. This is just something you don't want to be messing around with. You want to stay inside until it moves over you. And the good thing here, it's moving so quickly, it's going to be in and out. You're not going to be under the gun, under the severe weather threat for very long. Notice Beaver Dam is already in the clear as far as that severe weather threat. Alden just put the latest track on it there. Heading to the Caneyville area at 6:40, so it's about 7 minutes from now. This is Central Time. Short Creek at 6:45 Central. Litchfield at about 6:50 to 6:55. Into Clarkson at about 6:55 as well. Eastview right after 8 p.m. Eastern time, into Sonora at about 8:15, into Elizabethtown at 8:20. I don't see any signs that this line's going to be weakening. If we can bring up very quickly, just to do a little analysis, the Cape product, the available potential energy that we have to keep these storms chugging along. And also, it's the fuel for the storm. It's the unstable air. We've got a lot of it, unfortunately. We had that clearing for a few hours this afternoon. That pushed the temperatures up well into the 70s. So we've got the fuel to keep this line very healthy, and unfortunately causing some pockets of damaging winds with maybe every once in a while an embedded isolated spin-up tornado as well. So that is the back edge of the severe weather threat in general. That's going to be moving very quickly. Again, I would say probably by around 9:30, this severe weather threat's coming to an end. So that's kind of the other positive thing with this line. It's moving in and out quicker, especially from what we saw yesterday. So this is not going to be an overnight threat. We'll still have some lingering showers during the late night hours, and maybe some gusty winds with that wind advisory until 2 a.m. But as far as damaging wind, severe weather threat, it's over the next 1 to 2 hours across the area. And we're already seeing some areas where the line is already east. As we go back, let's stay on the broad view, but just look at the overall view. So Bedford, Paoli, English, Jasper, that severe weather threat is east of you. I know that looks kind of bad in the orange and the red, but that is non-severe weather right there. Still could be gusty. You might hear some lightning strikes, but we're concerned about the leading edge right there. That's where we have the most problems, where it's most troublesome as it moves on through. So we're from Seymour down to Salem is where we have the heavy rain and the thunderstorm activity cutting through Harrison County. So now we're talking just about 10, 20 miles west of downtown is where we have the threatening weather. So far for Louisville, the really threatening weather is off to the southwest and well to the north. That's 50 miles north, exit 50 around the Seymour area, exit 50, 55. So we're getting the light rain on the leading edge of the squall line moving into Shively, Valley Station. So we're going to get wet here over Metro Louisville over the next half hour. Hopefully we'll keep the winds below severe weather limits. So we're getting some of the heavy rain moving into Cordon, central Harrison County, into the New Salisbury area, into Floyd County, New Albany. You're going to get the heavy rain, the gusty winds very soon. Now, while the winds might not be damaging in excess of 60 miles per hour, you could still anywhere in here get some winds 30, 40 miles per hour, and that can, it might get some tree limbs down, might have to pick up some limbs from the yard tomorrow and stuff like that. So we've got the heavy rain here in Washington County, Indiana. It's going to be heading into western Clark County. There's the Borden Valley. You're going to get the very gusty winds here shortly too. So that's going to move through Clark County. From Clark County, Metro Louisville, and areas to the south, that's where we have the tornado watch until 11 p.m. Again, I think that threat will be over with before 11 p.m., probably by 9:30, 10, I would say the severe weather threat is going to be winding down across the area. So we still have the tornado warned area here covering west central Grayson County. That almost bumps up to Litchfield, stays just out to the west. There's Highway 62. There is the Western Kentucky Parkway. We've got Caneyville here with that hail core just out to the west of you. There's Horse Branch. So between Horse Branch and Caneyville on Highway 62, that's crossing your area. That's the hail core. Let's go ahead and check out the velocity again, Alden, see how well organized we're looking. We're going down the line all the way down here into Grayson County. The problem is we're pretty far away from the radar site too. So we have seen a lot more organized systems for sure. Maybe switch it to the storm relative. Perhaps that will give us a little better idea of some circulation. But in this tornado warning area, the circulation not super strong. It looks like it would be right about in this general area. It looks like some broad rotation in general with the potential of possibly some damaging hail in some small areas that we got to watch out for. But nonetheless, there is some circulation here. And I would say Alden, it's not going to take long for the velocity of that storm to take it outside of the actual tornado polygon.
Correct. There hasn't been any new updates from the Weather Service. This is probably what we're going to see for a lot of the night, are these quick little spin-up circulations that look really threatening initially, so they put out a warning, but then they quickly weaken as they move very quickly off to the east and northeast. So that's why we call these spin-up tornadoes, because they just are, very quick. They happen very quickly, kind of like a dust devil. But no new information on that. Haven't seen any reports of damage. Do not believe there's any spotter down there, and the rotation overall just does not look very threatening anymore. So this tornado warning continues until 8:15. Excuse me. This tornado warning continues until 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So that gives us about another 22 minutes on it.
And then we've got the severe thunderstorm warning that covers up the rest of Grayson County as well. So while we do have that tornado warning, as Alden mentioned, the circulation does not look super impressive. As far as the correlation coefficient, as we look at the potential debris signature here in Grayson County, let's see if we've got anything going for it. As we zoom in there, it's probably just maybe a little tiny bit of debris, nothing as far as a tornado causing it at this time. I don't see that ball formation, that debris ball formation, but maybe just some little dust, maybe some little tree limbs kind of flying around in those gusty winds. So the potential for some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour here in Grayson County. So let's go ahead and back up our view. We'll look at the overall view. We've got the tornado watch until 11 p.m. Back to our regular radar here shortly too. So Interstate 64 South, there's your tornado watch. And so we're just waiting for that leading edge to just get through the entire area, and then we'll say goodbye to the severe weather threat. Back behind that, you're going to have still some moderate and at times some heavy rainfall. How many lightning strikes are we up to now as this gets a lot closer to Louisville? It'll be crossing over the Ohio River here shortly. So we're at about 400 lightning strikes. There's a few more we could add on to that just outside of the box there. Concentration of lightning southwest of Louisville. So where you see less lightning, the storms are not as strong. So that's why we don't see the severe thunderstorm warnings around Salem, just west of Louisville. The severe thunderstorm warning is for Breckinridge County and Grayson County, and then the western tip here of Hardin County, so just out to the west of Elizabethtown. So a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings we'll likely have over the next 1 or 2 hours, and then every once in a while we might have a tornado warning as well. So 20 more minutes with this tornado warning polygon is what we have. There's a look at some of that hail getting closer to Caneyville. Still be inside, be in your safe place until this warning is over with. It looks like with the speed of this, moving 50 to 60 miles per hour, that supercell is going to be moving outside of that tornado warning area, and that would make it expire anyway. So here's a track where we have the potential of some circulation, possible tornado. Right now it's just radar indicated. We do not have a report that a tornado is on the ground. So that's heading to post at 6:42. So basically now, this is all central time until we get towards the bottom. Grayson County High School, if you live around that area, that's 6:50, 7:50 Eastern time, into the Litchfield area at about 6:50 to 6:55, into Clarkson as we get closer to 7 p.m. Central Time, into the Limp area at 8 o'clock Eastern, the Eastview area at about 8:10, and then Franklin Crossroads. And it looks like a new tornado warning. Are we expanding this to the east?
Yes, that's a new tornado warning that's just been issued. This is to the south of that initial circulation, and this warning includes southern Grayson County. This is until 7:15 p.m. Central Time, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Includes Edmondson, which is not in our viewing area, Grayson, Hardin, and Hart County. So we'll go ahead and also look at the velocity on that, see where that rotation it might be. And it's right here, and that's...
Yeah, that's right to the southeast of Caneyville right there. There's 187. So the blue, as we talked about this earlier, up in Jackson County, anything in the blue with our color palette indicates the potential of winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. So it looks like we've got some rotation right there. That's what the warning is for. We haven't had any reports of tornado touchdowns officially. No spotter confirmation. We haven't had law enforcement confirm any tornadoes on the ground. These are radar indicated at this time. Hopefully they'll just stay radar indicated, but please be seeking shelter at this time if you're under this tornado warning in Grayson County and also into parts of Hart County as well. So this is heading to the Annetta area, 6:55. So you've got about 10 minutes in the Annetta area. That's Central Time. Fragrant at 7 o'clock Central. Millerstown at about 7:10 Central Time. Flint Hill at 8:15 Eastern. Bonneville, so we're talking Hart County now, at about 7:20 Central. Sonora 8:20 to 8:25 Eastern. Hammondville at about 7:30 Central Time, and into the Magnolia area. That would be into LaRue County at about 8:30. So we do have this brand new tornado warning for much of Grayson County, and then that stretches into, it looks like southern LaRue, into northwestern Hart counties as well. So
this area is moving a little slower too. That's that track was for towards the east at 45 miles per hour.
So east about 45, and this whole squall line is moving at about that speed, around 45 to 50. Again, please be seeking shelter at this time. Let's go ahead and go street level here. We're just south of Litchfield. We're talking very close to the Nolin River Lake area. So here's Shrewsbury, 187. You got Kentucky 185 around the Ready area. Here's Peth. The center of circulation looks like it's right between Peth and the Shrewsbury area. So this is moving off to the east and northeast at about 45 miles per hour. And this tornado warning continues for quite some time here for the next half hour until 8:15 Eastern Time, 7:15 Central Time. And this area is about 55 to 60 miles south of Louisville. So almost an hour's drive to the south and southwest of Louisville is where we have our biggest area of concern right now. Let's go ahead a little bit tighter here just to the east of 187 and see if we can get some country roads to show up. There's Sadler. Probably have to go in even tighter and tighter until we find any roads whatsoever. There we go. So if you're in Grayson County and you're familiar with some of these roads, this is where we have a tornado warning. This Cheel Road, Sadler Road, Bill Logston Road, Coy Newton Spur, into the Blowtown Road area. So this is just south of the Western Kentucky Parkway, south of Litchfield, southern half basically of Grayson County. And then we've got Coy Newton Spur, Blowtoe, Long Branch Drive, it looks like. So just some of the streets that where we have, it looks like those are the 60-mile-per-hour winds heading right over those streets right now. So that's why you want to be seeking shelter, lowest level of your home. Let's go ahead and give some more of those tornado tips here, because this could be another hour or two where we have this severe weather threat, not just for Grayson County, but also for the WHAS11 viewing area. So the areas in green, that is your safest place. You want to maybe get into your interior hallway, maybe the bathroom, away from the walls and the doors and the windows. Basically as many walls as you can get between you and your outer walls, and outside is where you want to be. You want to get into the basement. That is going to be the safest place. And have the whole family know where to go. Hopefully your cell phones are charged. Weather radio, fresh batteries, always a good thing. First aid kit and safety items. Maybe the blankets or a mattress for some extra protection. Maybe the kids' helmets as well. And again, the basement, the safest place to go. And if you live in a mobile home, hopefully you've prepared for a sturdier shelter in case of a tornado warning in your area. So that is what you need to do. Get into your safe place if you are in Grayson County. This won't last too long. Again, this is moving at about 45 miles per hour. And it looks like Alden, the western sections of Grayson County, that threat is out of that area. So if you're west of Caneyville, it looks like the threat of damaging winds is now east of your area. So the area of circulation, the area of concern, and Alden made a really good point earlier. These are really quick spin-ups. So for a couple scans with the radar, it might look really good. There might be a quick little touchdown, usually like EF0, EF1 winds 80, 90 miles per hour, very similar to straight line wind damage when we have this kind of setup along a squall line. These little kinks in the radar indicate the potential of some spin-ups. Either way, this is heading to the eastern sections of Grayson County. This is northwestern Hart County, and then southern LaRue County is where we have the threat of a tornado and a tornado warning that continues until 7:15 Central Time and 8:15 Eastern Time. Let's go ahead and back up our view a little bit more, Alden. We'll go back to our reflectivity. So here's the overall setup that we have. Big squall line. There's little areas that kind of jut out. That's where we could have some damaging winds. And then there's areas that kind of go inward, and that's where you have the potential of some vortices or some spin-ups that we're going to be watching. So that's the one tornado warning that we have. What about severe thunderstorm warnings? If we can go ahead and take the radar off, that's where we have the severe thunderstorm warning that continues until 8 p.m. for eastern Jackson County into Jennings County. That's where we've seen the potential of some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. We've got Breckenridge County, western Hardin County under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. All of Grayson County also under that severe thunderstorm warning. So they are warning up and down this line. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning that covers Meade, southern Harrison, northern tip of Hardin, western Bullitt, southwestern Jefferson is the brand new severe thunderstorm warning that we have. So we mentioned that in a couple scans it might look okay, and then we get some sections to pulse up. So it looks like that's what we have in Harrison County and into southwestern metro Louisville. So now we have the potential of some damaging winds moving into the city of Louisville and metro. So it's this line right here that's moving through Brandenburg, Meade County. You can see how straight up and down that is. There's some pretty decent organization with that line right there. And the velocity actually, Alden, yeah, so we definitely got that pulsing up. That is, it's trying to bow out right there. So you get the strong winds aloft. We've got a low level jet with winds in excess of 60, 70, 80 miles per hour right above us. And sometimes that jet, that inflow notch right there, can get some of those winds down to the ground. So that is central Meade County. That's right near Brandenburg, where we have, look at that, 72, 83 mile per hour winds. And the thing is, that's not very far from the actual radar site here at Fort Knox. So here's the radar site. So that is like treetop level, just above the treetops. The radar goes up at an angle, at a very low angle, and so we're not far off the ground here, showing some potentially 70, 80 mile per hour winds moving through Meade County. Definitely want to be inside. You've got a little bit of time in Louisville to get inside. This is going to be racing across parts of southwestern Jefferson County, northern Hardin County right here, This is the rest of Meade County, and then this is Bullitt County. So this is why we have that new severe thunderstorm warning. Really gusty winds in behind that line too. So
That
this
severe
is
thunderstorm warning, just for the record, is until 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The main threat there being 70-mile-per-hour wind speeds as indicated on radar, as we just saw. So we'll put a track on that. That's moving, that is, let me see what speed this is moving at. 70-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail. This is moving to the east at roughly 50 miles per hour. So we'll put a track on that for 50 miles per hour. I'll just do this general curve here. That would put it in locations such as Flaherty by 7:54, Fort Knox at 8:02, so only about 12 minutes, near the Fern Creek area by just before 8:30, and near Taylorsville by 8:45. And as we just saw, there are wind speeds very close to ground level, probably at about treetop level, or a little bit higher than that near the Ekron area, estimated to be at about 80 miles per hour. But I don't see any signs or any reports of any damage from our other locations that we've been looking at this evening.
And it usually takes some time to get reports once it moves on through. But that is a big area of concern here just to the southwest of downtown Louisville. So there's Valley Station, PRP, Fairdale, Okolona. Looks like that's all heading your direction, maybe just staying very near the casino in southern Harrison County too. So we got Mockport, Brandenburg, Ekron, Guston, Laconia, everybody in these areas, you want to be inside. There's the winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. That we had some winds like, yikes, hopefully that's not real, over 100 miles per hour. So we had these kind of winds a few weeks ago, moved through Metro Louisville, caused over 10,000 power outages. So we know what winds over 60 can do. It basically topples some trees and causes some scattered power outages. So might end up with that. And the confidence that some of this is getting to the ground is higher because of how close we are to the radar. There's the radar site here at West Point that is near Fort Knox. So that Dixie Highway, it connects to 62 as it heads into Breckinridge County through Meade County, or Highway 60 that is. There you can see the very strong winds. So these are straight line winds. We don't see any rotation with this, but I would say very similar to EF0 strength tornado is what we have with these straight line winds moving through Brandenburg right now. This is Meade County and then southwestern Harrison County. So it looks like the winds right over the top of the Ohio River and moving due east at about 50 miles per hour. So we've got that. We've got the tornado warning off to the south. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning off to the north. So we definitely got the center portion of this kind of pulsing up. Lots of lightning strikes as well. We're getting some moderate steady rain over Louisville. Notice that deeper red just to the west, moving through Corden, Harrison County, moving into the Knobs. There's Highway 150. And that is going to be moving through Louisville over the next half hour. Again, it's going to be in and out. The damage and wind threat's not going to last very long. So sometimes it's good that when you have a squall line moving so quickly, there's a live look at the darkening sky, looking a little bit ominous here. This is looking from the hospitals along I-65 hospital curve to the southwest. So that is looking kind of directly towards Harrison County, where we have some rain coming down over Louisville right now. U of L Health camera network right there, Houston Coleman cam. We are at 75, so the air became really unstable. Looks like we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up here at 7:54. So we've been on here for about an hour because of a couple tornado warnings, but now we're just getting this whole line, or at least a lot of the line, under a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like the latest warning is for the rest of Jennings County. So that was just in the western sections of Jennings County. So North Vernon, you guys want to be seeking shelter. There's not a lot of area that's not under a severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning along the squall line. You've got the gap right here in Scott and Clark and the northern sections of Floyd County. So the squall line is now starting to bump up to Interstate 65 at 8 p.m. So right on time with that track we gave you a second ago. Let's stay on this view, Alden, and go back to reflectivity and then just do like a long squall line track. And we'll give everybody a heads up now east of I-65 when you might start to get some of this threatening weather into your area. Straight line winds, our main issue here. There could be isolated little spin up tornadoes every once in a while as well. A lot of times the damage can be pretty similar between an EF0 spin up and straight line damaging winds. So moving into Louisville, basically right now we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern sections of Metro. That's down around Valley Station, Fairdale areas. Be seeking shelter, stay inside until this moves through. You're likely going to hear the winds rattling the windows, blowing the trees around a little bit. Can get a little scary. Just let it pass on by before you try to venture back out. Campbellsville heading your way at about 6:45. And then into the Lexington area by about 9:30. So there you can see how quickly this is moving to the east. So pretty decently organized squall line right now. This line that goes all the way from the northern edges of our viewing area around Seymour. It looks like it's east of you now, Seymour. And then it kind of wobbles around just west of Louisville and then down to Grayson County. Let's go ahead and visit once again the tornado warning area. So anywhere from Litchfield west in Grayson County, you're in the clear as far as the tornado threat. We still have a little bit of rotation there. There's that little kink in the line. So that's where we could see the potential of a little spin up tornado. That's going to be heading towards the Millerstown area. So that is right on the edge. There's Nolin River heading toward Hart County, and there's Sonora. So you've got this southeast of Litchfield. It will be moving out of Grayson County within the next 10 minutes or so. This area of circulation, potential tornado has been moving east at about 45. It's radar indicated. Haven't had any reports yet. I know, Alden, you're looking at the chat with the National Weather Service. Have you seen any reports of any damage anywhere so far?
No reports of damage. The only report that I really have here is 60-mile-per-hour gusts and pea-sized hail on Sunbeam Road in Litchfield. And it looks like we have a report that came out of Breckenridge County near Custer of a decent-sized tree, but that's all the information they gave. So we don't know how exactly decent-sized is, but still that's proof of strong enough winds to take down any trees that are maybe old or not poorly rooted or sick.
Yeah, toppling some trees. The ground is saturated. So when we have the muddy ground, the root systems aren't as strong, so it doesn't take quite as much wind to topple over some of the trees, fall on some power lines, cause some power outages across the area. We'll be checking on power outages as we move along here this evening as well. So within about an hour, we've had the storms move into our viewing area. That's our western counties of Grayson, Breckenridge, out west around Du Bois County in Indiana, and now already up to almost Interstate 65 in 1 hour. So that tells me in another hour, we're going to have it over to the east of I-65 and out of our viewing area, possibly by about 9:30. Here's a view down towards Elizabethtown Furniture Fair, Cam, and that would be a shelf cloud, and that is going to be some very strong winds. So this is looking from Dixie Highway just north of Elizabethtown, near the Hardin County Honda area. So that is your shelf cloud. That's what you're going to see along this. There's some live lightning strikes. Very, very scary looking. Right behind that leading edge of that cloud cover right there, that is when you get the rush of winds, possibly in excess of 60 miles per hour. And then once that blows on by, the winds will start to calm back down. Now, even without a thunderstorm for the rest of tonight, at least through 2 a.m., we have a wind advisory for much of the area, so the winds could stay gusty, 30, 40 miles per hour. It could still be a little bit loud as you're trying to go to sleep tonight. But the severe weather threat is going to come to an end, it looks like, over the next hour and a half to 2 hours for much of our viewing area. A very impressive look at that leading edge of that squall line, Alden. So that's, I think, what a lot of us are going to see before sunset here. 73 degrees as well, as Alden's kind of moving the camera along that line. So that is, let's go to the radar and check out Hardin County so I can tell you exactly where that shelf cloud is as we look off to the south of Louisville as we go into Hardin County. So here's Elizabethtown. We go just off to the north of there. There's where we have that tornado warning area. I don't see anything significant as far as rotation with that at this time. A little farther to the north, up I-65. Here's Elizabethtown. Our camera's right about there. So we're looking right at that leading edge right there is what you just saw live. That's pretty potent as well. So we
should watch that area too, just south of Rineyville, because it's starting to bend out there. Yes. Just a little bit. I don't see any discussion on that, but I would imagine they're keeping an eye on that too. There's also no warning with that currently at the moment, but we can
let's put a track on that, Alden, because that is some rotation. That's just as good as some of the rotation that we saw to the south. And by good, I mean bad. We don't want any rotation. And there's also some hail there too. So this is western Hardin County. I mean, it's making a quick push to the east. This is just to the west of Elizabethtown. Elizabethtown, even if you don't have a warning, I want you to be seeking shelter. Stay away from this, stay inside. So that right there, we got a little circulation. We've got a kind of a pulsing of the supercell around Rineyville. You want to stay inside. Elizabethtown heading your way in just about 5 minutes into the Crest area in about 10. Colesburg in about 15 minutes into the Boston area at about 8:20. Into Lyons at about 8:25. New Haven 8:25. And then to the Balltown area at about 8:30. So this is in Hardin County. I would likely think there's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for you guys over much of Hardin County very soon. So heads up for Elizabethtown. Let's stay on the same product here, but let's just go north on this line. Fort Knox under that severe thunderstorm warning. The potential for, so we're right at the radar site. So we can look at the velocity that is and see what those winds are doing very, very close to the radar near treetop level. So we're still seeing the blue colors. That indicates over 60-mile-per-hour winds right on top of the radar. New severe thunderstorm warning. We're getting severe thunderstorm warnings nonstop here. Over 70-mile-per-hour gusts right on top of the radar. So this is the actual radar here at West Point, northern Hardin County. This is Fort Knox area. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That can definitely do some tree damage, cause some power outages. So West Point, seek shelter. Stay in your area. Near the power plant here at Cosmosdale, southwestern Jefferson County. We're talking Valley Station, very, very close, too close for comfort. We're just south of the casino. There's Laconia. This is southern Harrison County, over the river into northeastern Meade County right here. So there's Davidson, there's Dixie Highway. Let's shift off to the northeast into Metro Louisville. And the winds don't look quite as bad, thankfully, for downtown in the city of Louisville. Moving into the knobs right now, we got some gusty winds. Here's New Albany. Let's go back to reflectivity just to show you the regular radar. We'll put on some lightning strikes as well.
And that new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, was for that area we were just looking at. That's that is for Bullitt, Grayson, Hardin, Hart, LaRue, Meade County, and Nelson counties until 8:45. And as for those lightning strikes, not seeing as many within that red box. That's the area that we're sampling, about 280 lightning strikes. About probably 45 minutes ago, we were seeing over 400 lightning strikes. And the more lightning you see, the more energetically charged those thunderstorms are. And the less lightning you see typically means those storms aren't as strong, but that's not always the case. A few weeks ago when we had all of those warnings that moved through Louisville, very, very little lightning with that storm, but the winds were still quite strong and enough to cause those power outages here across the metro area. And that tornado warning, by the way, is still continuing until 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. So current time is 8:03. So that gives it about another 12 or so minutes before that expires to the south. And we can get in a little bit.
We'll check back in on that too. I just did not see much circulation with that. Again, we're talking quick little spin ups. That looks like regular straight line winds in that tornado warning area. So yes, there was some rotation earlier. The good news is here, it's going to be leaving Grayson County very soon. There's no Lynn River. Still some damaging straight line winds possible. I don't see really rotation as far as a tornado, but northwestern Hart County, southern LaRue County still under that tornado warning area. I would just treat that as a severe thunderstorm warning. That's what we have covering many, many counties now. In fact, let's clear the radar because we have got such a large area of real estate under a severe thunderstorm warning. You don't see this very often. Usually it comes with squall lines. That's the damaging line of storms that we have crossing the viewing area right now, coming up to I-65. This severe thunderstorm warning, which is huge, goes until 8:45 Eastern time, so that's another 40 minutes. So all the way from Louisville down Interstate 65, including Bardstown, Elizabethtown, Magnolia, Hodgenville, Bonneville, Munfordville into Greensburg. That's where we have a severe thunderstorm warning. We're looking better here over Grayson County very soon. You're going to see that expire for you. Breckenridge County, the worst is going to be over for you very soon. Jennings County under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And then we've got that gap where the winds aren't as strong in Scott and in Clark County, and then into much of Floyd County too. So this thing is moving very quickly. The entire line has been moving at about 50 miles per hour. We have a tornado watch from Clark County, Indiana through Metro Louisville and areas to the south right there until 11 p.m. However, with the speed of this squall line, I think we're going to get some counties notched off this. And in fact, the entire tornado watch might end considerably before 11 p.m. I'm thinking 9:30, we might be able to get a lot of this line out of our viewing area as it is, again, trucking along to the east about 50 miles per hour. Back to reflectivity. Again, we've got the squall line east of I-65, east of Seymour. So we'll go top to bottom and see who is in the clear, who is not. Seymour is now in the clear. Areas on Highway 50 through Jackson, through Lawrence counties. Not worried about severe winds with you. Still could be gusty, but not severe. North Vernon, stay inside a little while longer. It's going to be moving east of Jennings County within the next 10 minutes. So next up is going to be Madison. You could have some really gusty winds, maybe 50 miles per hour. It's now east of Scottsburg. Good news there for you. Areas west of Scottsburg, west of I-65. This includes Washington County, Salem. You guys are west of that severe weather threat. Paoli, Orange County. You guys are west of the severe weather threat now. Henryville, very heavy rain, gusty winds. You're not under a warning at this time. Clark County does not have a warning. Still the potential for some very gusty winds. Very heavy rain coming over the Borden Valley. So eastern Clark
Ben,
County.
I want to, pardon me, I want to take you to Hardin County so we can see just how strong that rain is coming down. It's coming down in sheets, and our camera can't really see too much. You can see there in front of the lights, just curtain after curtain of that heavy rain moving there in front of the lights. Almost looks like snow if we had heavy snow, and you can also vaguely make out the flags there hanging on to those light posts as hard as they can. So those winds are fairly strong down there, and seeing here in chat that there was a gust of about 63 miles per hour at the Hardin County Mesonet site, which is around E-Town, so probably in about this location. So very heavy rain there, and obviously some very reduced visibility. And when you have rain that's falling that hard that quickly, that's how you can end up with some local ponding and perhaps a little bit of localized flash flooding concerns. But I don't see any discussions in here quite yet about any flooding, which is good. But still, you can see the camera shaking around there very hard.
Car driving through it too. I mean, that's blinding rain right there. That's probably winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. That was right under that shelf cloud we were showing you earlier with a lot of lightning strikes coming down too. So really, it just makes the sky turn black. We saw quite a bit of light just a second ago. I know we're getting closer to sunset, not quite there yet. We can also probably check out our Metro cams closer to Louisville if you can get them loaded up here in just a second too. So you can see a little more light obviously here as we look out over the falls of the Ohio from on top of the Galt House over the Ohio River. Sky looking a little bit darker in that location. But we're going to have some heavy rain moving over the top of Louisville. We'll go back to the radar view and we'll go back down that line. I want to go back to who's in the clear, who's not in the clear. There's a look at the Clark Memorial Bridge. So we were right about Clark County. So anything west of the deep red, you guys are in pretty good shape as far as the severe weather threat goes for the rest of this evening. Heading closer here into Metro Louisville, there is that line right on the Ohio River coming into Valley Station, PRP, Cosmosdale. Then you've got the radar site right there at Fort Knox. Likely winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. We're going to get some power outages here tonight for this evening. Still looking at some of those enhanced red to pink colors. That's an indication of some wind speeds in excess of 60 miles per hour right now east of the radar site, 67, as Alden is putting the query on that. This is moving right towards Shepherdsville. It's going to be heading over the Brooks exit, Hillview, Highview, Okolona, pretty much all of Bullitt County. You want to stay inside. You guys have that severe thunderstorm warning for good reason. We're getting some reports of some tree damage. We're going to get some power outages, as I mentioned. So you're only a couple minutes out from seeing some scary looking clouds like we saw down in Hardin County, just north of Elizabethtown, but also some really, really gusty winds, possibly damaging winds. Next up is going to be Mount Washington if that holds together. This moved all the way through Meade County, so it has been holding on strong, that right there. And then as we look to the south, we're starting to see that leading edge about to move out of that earlier tornado warning, which we're not seeing that rotation like we had before. That tornado warning is right in the middle of a huge severe thunderstorm warning that covers all of LaRue County here. Here is Hodgenville. There's Highway 31. The severe thunderstorm warning continues down into Greene County, Hart County, and then into Nelson County too. So we're going to get some of these gusty winds heading your way into Lebanon Junction very soon. That's southern Bullitt. And then into Bardstown, we'll likely have that severe thunderstorm warning expanded to cover the rest of Nelson County too. Let's go ahead and keep it on the velocity and just go northbound up the line here briefly. Again, there's the pulsing here. This is a little bit of a bow echo heading through Bullitt County. So we'll likely get some damage reports out of Bullitt County, likely out of Meade as well. If the newsroom is listening, let's go ahead and give a call to Brandenburg, Meade County, Fort Knox, see what we've got out of there. So on the very northern edge of this, the winds aren't quite as extreme over Valley Station, although it's going to be very breezy as that heads from Valley Station over to Fairdale. Then you got Hillview, Okolona, I-65, and the Snyder interchange right there. It's going to get gusty. But notice the winds not nearly as bad, thankfully, for downtown Louisville and Shively and within the Watterson. If you want to query some of those and click on some of the pixels there, we're kind of in the gap. We're kind of lucky so far as the wind speeds up here around downtown. I would say probably that's nothing there. So we're probably 20, 30 mile per hour winds coming through Metro Louisville, but a lot lighter than that really strong damaging gust that we have on the very southwest end of Jefferson County and really in the Bullitt County. New severe thunderstorm warning. We might have to just clear the radar so we can see all of the different warnings that we have. So this covers all of Metro Louisville under a severe thunderstorm warning, now into Oldham County.
That's until 8:45 p.m.
So another half hour with that. So this is the new severe thunderstorm warning. That is for southwestern Shelby County into Spencer County, almost to Taylorsville, almost to Shelbyville, includes Simpsonville and the shops there. And you've got it almost up to Bardstown, covers western sections of Nelson County into the Boston area, Elizabethtown, and then I got all of LaRue County covered up in the severe thunderstorm warning. That comes up to Greensburg there in Greene County, and then Hart County also into that. So
then that line for that new severe thunderstorm warning for Metro Louisville is moving fast. They have that moving at about 70 miles per hour, and meteorologist Chelsea Smith just texted me saying that the power flashed at her apartment and she briefly lost her television signal. So that's going to be the threat that you were mentioning with those 70 mile per hour wind gusts, is the risk of seeing some potential power outages. But so far I have not seen anything official. And let's put that track on for 70 miles per hour for that location right along here. That's very quick. It's moving at about highway speed. That would move it through Metro Louisville now. Prospect in about 5 minutes. Fern Creek by 8:24 in LaGrange. Next county over by 8:30. Taylorsville about 8:33, and towards Lawrenceburg by 8:53, and Harrisonville by around 8:46. So moving very, very quickly there. And as mentioned, hail of about a quarter size possible. In addition to that threat of 70 mile per hour wind speeds, and that warning is until 8:45 Eastern.
Yeah, let's look at velocity again. Look at the wind speeds. We've got some areas bowing out, and then you just have to watch on the edge of the bow echoes for the potential of some little spin-up tornadoes. This is straight line winds. There's Kentucky 44, Barrelton, Shepherdsville, Bardstown Junction, Pitts Point, Fort Knox. that is some damaging straight line winds. So we're going to get some power flashes, some power outages, some tree damage likely from that. That's very similar when you get 60 to 70 mile per hour winds to EF0 tornado strength. So don't need a tornado obviously to cause quite a bit of trouble as far as power outages, maybe some tree damage around the yard as well. Probably have to do some cleanup tomorrow. Luckily we got the sunshine returning for our Thursday. Look at how quickly in one scan that moved all the way from there in western Bullitt County all the way up to Shepherdsville. So we're talking the Brooks exit, Shepherdsville down to Bardstown Junction, up I-65. If there are any travelers here in Bullitt County on the interstate, it's going to be a rough ride for a few minutes. It will not take long for that to cross on over. Look at this enhancement here just to the north, Alden, in southwestern Jefferson County. If we can get the camera that is at U of L pointed southwest, we might be able to get some pretty interesting cloud features with that. Shelf cloud along that. The shelf cloud kind of looks like a wedge, and it looks pretty threatening and very ominous, and then right underneath that cloud is when you get some of these damaging winds in excess of 60, 70 miles per hour. Obviously getting a little bit darker, so we can't see quite as much. We're looking right over U of L with 71 degrees still, so very warm out ahead of this line. But there is that leading edge moving into the southwestern sections of Jefferson County. The camera coming into a little more focus right there. So we're just kind of scanning the skies, looking at some of that heavy rainfall there. Ooh, that was some cloud to ground lightning. There's the clock tower at U of L. So that is the very leading edge. You can see it looks a little bit clearer on the left side of your screen. This is, as Alden mentioned, racing across the area. This is Cardinal Stadium. We're looking out towards Churchill Downs from U of L, out towards the fairgrounds as well. So that is the very leading edge of the squall line that could be putting down some winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. So we'll likely see again some power outages, some power flashes. Right now it looks like down towards Fairdale, Okolona is where we have some of the stronger winds. The winds definitely not as strong. Usually the camera would be rocking around a little bit if they were stronger just off to the, within the Waterson, north of the Waterson, the winds are not as bad. We're watching this leading edge right there. It looks like it's almost touching the ground. That's that rain shaft, that leading edge. And that just, it looks like almost like a wall of cloud cover that's racing off to the east. So that right there is moving east anywhere from 50, 60, maybe even 70 miles per hour.
And Ben, Max, our director, if you could switch over to Max 3 very quickly. I have the airport radar up, which is also showing, it has a little bit of a better view since it's a bit further away, showing some of those wind speeds near the Valley Station area of around 70 miles per hour, just to the east there of Valley Station, right there along the Gene Snyder. And just a moment ago, I was given a report from our assignment editor reporting baseball-sized hail from Vine Grove to Radcliffe in Hardin County. That came from Joe Prather, confirmed by emergency management. That was at 313 and Rogersville Road. An ambulance had to stop because the hail was coming down too strong, and that just occurred within the last 5 minutes. So I suggest we go ahead and look at we'll go back to Max 1 and look at our hail product and move it down south to Hardin County. And there's always a bit of a delay here, so it's not showing anything that looks very threatening at the moment, but that report just came in from the Hardin County Emergency Manager Office, so pretty...
Maybe back to reflectivity. Right now we're probably just seeing the hail a little bit better on the reflectivity. And yeah, there could be quarter size, ping pong ball size hail anywhere along this leading edge. It's now into Elizabethtown as well. We probably just got struck by lightning at the building or very close to downtown. Just got my monitors off. They're back on. So we had a power flash here at the studios. So we're getting quite a bit of lightning strikes, cloud to ground lightning strikes. We saw that with our live video as well. Let's go ahead and put the lightning back on. That's thank you, Alden. You're thinking ahead of me here. We've got 200 to 300 lightning strikes. These are all cloud to ground. You also have cloud to cloud lightning strikes that don't get picked up by the sensors, but all of these are cloud to ground lightning strikes, and sometimes there could be just a slight delay. Germantown near the Highlands, we got a lightning strike there. So that could be causing some of the power flashes, also the very gusty winds. So heavy rain coming down over downtown Louisville. Starting to see the squall line strengthen a little bit over downtown. Stay inside Louisville, Bullitt County, Hardin County. All these areas from Metro Louisville south along the squall line, just stay inside until it moves over. Anywhere along this line, without much warning, you can get a bow echo to set up and give you winds kind of like EF0 tornado style in excess of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Looking at some of our various cameras here, this is Hurstbourne Parkway near Interstate 64. So this leading edge hasn't slammed into you guys yet. In fact, the American flag is kind of like that little calm right before the storm. It is kind of just drooped right there, despite some very, very gusty and possibly damaging winds just west of I-65 in Louisville right now. So there's the heavy rain coming over downtown with our Hughes and Coleman cam, part of our U of L Health camera network. And we have all the way now from basically North Vernon, Indiana, now east of I-65, along I-65 through Kentucky is where we have this line of strong to severe storms. There's the heavy rain coming down over U of L now. Didn't take long for that to happen. So that whole line's moving east at anywhere from mostly around 50 to 60 miles per hour. It's good and bad. It's causing some very strong winds, possibly some power outages, but also it does not last long. It's going to be in and out of here. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for Louisville, Bullitt County, Mount Washington, heads up. It's moving through Shepherdsville. Darker colors indicate the potential of some large hail. Here's the latest track with meteorologist Alden putting that on there. That's at Fern Creek here very soon. All these areas within the next 10 or 15 minutes, just stay inside. Anchorage, Taylorsville Lake. And just a little bit later, in about 20 minutes, heading into Shelbyville, into the Newcastle area at about 8:45, and in the Christiansburg area at 8:47. New tornado warning just to the south. So 4,700 power outages with LG&E. Down to the...
Excuse me, Ben, sorry.
Okay, yeah, new tornado warning just to the south here, Alden. This is along the south end of this bow echo. So there's the apex of that bow echo. That's 70 mile per hour winds.
That's moving to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. Radar indicated rotation. This tornado warning is for Hart, LaRue, Marion, Nelson, and Washington counties in Kentucky until 8:45 Eastern time. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Hodgenville. Yep. Again, that's moving to the northeast at about 65 miles per hour. I will get a new track set up for that.
Right around that general area right there. So there's Highway 31. There's I-65. We'll just shift it right back down here. So yeah, this is going to happen. We've talked about this over the last hour and a half now. We're going to get these little spin ups. This might last 5 minutes. It might last 15 minutes. Sometimes they hold together longer than others. But that's that little kink right there, that little bit of a wedge, usually kind of between two bow echoes. So we're talking EF0, EF1 strength if that's touching the ground. It's moving northeast very quickly, so heading to Hodgenville, Jim, Buffalo, South Buffalo, Leafdale over the next 10 minutes or so. West School, Howardstown, and Athertonville at about 8:30. So please be seeking shelter immediately. Lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows. Here's LaRue County. And this is moving to the northeast into Nelson County. And it does include Bardstown and New Haven. There's a look at Highway 31 right there. And then there's Interstate 65. So this is to the southeast of Elizabethtown is where we have that potential of a quick spin-up tornado. So that green indicates that raindrops heading towards the radar and the red's away. So anytime you get the green and red next to each other, that's called a couplet. And that's where we have the potential for some damaged winds and maybe even a tornado as well. Again, the updated time frame, 8:23 to the Wilkins School, Leafdale at about 8:25, Lyons at about 8:28 to 8:30, Athertonville at 8:30, New Haven at 8:30, Yosemite at 8:35, and Culvertown at 8:35. So let's go ahead and back up our view. I want to see where some other really strong winds are. Again, I think you would have similar damage from that as you would with this. This is really impressive here in Bullitt County. This has just gotten stronger. This is a bow echo. This is the apex. This is the center of the curvature, and that is damaging wind gusts here. No doubt about it, moving through Bullitt County. Mount Washington, please be inside. There's Kentucky 44, 480, 523.
Then we have a damage report that's coming out of Breckinridge County. This is a bit delayed, coming in at 7:42 Eastern Time, 2 miles to the west-northwest of Constantine in Breckinridge County. Emergency manager reporting a roof blown off of a home south of Custer. That time is estimated at, by radar of about 7:42 p.m. Near Custer in Breckinridge County, of a roof blown off of a home there. And as we continue,
we're going to get, well, sorry to interrupt, we're going to get more damage reports out of Bullitt County. It usually takes maybe an hour or so to get some of those damage reports. But go ahead, Alden.
Oh, I was going to say something similar, that as we continue through the evening and as we see this Boeing segment move through Bullitt County at the moment, we're possibly going to see more damage like that, but there is always a delay. I am looking at some of the radar estimated wind speeds up there in those bright blue shades, generally of around 70 miles per hour when you get into that bright blue coloring there. So that's just to the southeast of Shepherdsville and towards along State Road 480 in Kentucky. They're continuing.
So that's moving into eastern Bullitt County. Still very strong winds likely in Shepherdsville. That's really, really impressive. Haven't seen a bow echo like that in quite some time. So damaging straight line winds, kind of like EF0, EF1 tornado strength winds, Mount Washington to Cox's Creek. Taylorsville, heads up, heading your way. Taylorsville Lake, get off the lake. It's nighttime anyway, so hopefully you are off the lake. Fairfield into Bardstown. This is going to be moving through Spencer and then in through Nelson County. A lot of Nelson County, including Bardstown, also has that tornado warning. Again, similar damage from that and the little spin-up tornado potential farther off to the south. That's the most impressive as far as the wind speeds that we have seen moving through Bullitt County, the most organized that we've seen as well. So that could be rather destructive. Stay inside with that severe thunderstorm warning.
And you mentioned earlier, Ben, increasing strength. I can confirm that. The Weather Service indicating 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible with that area that's right there behind you, primarily for Bullitt County. That's where we have the peak of that apex. No new updates from the tornado warning down to our south. And I'm also looking at our wind gusts to see if we have any updated wind gusts here being reported. 61 mile-per-hour wind gusts reported at Alden International Airport. Max, that's on Max 3, if you can pop that up really quickly. And also in that bright red shade there between Brandenburg, Hardinsburg, Munfordville, and E-Town. Likely a gust that was even higher than that, but the reporting site at the Alden International Airport reporting 61 mile-per-hour wind gusts there. And that severe thunderstorm warning also capable of producing hail of about quarter size and continuing until 8:45 p.m. as it moves very, very quickly off to the northeast at 70 miles per hour. And we can go back to Max 1 and I can move this new storm track that I just drew a minute ago. It's already caught up to it. So
look at the yellow there. That's 80, I believe, 80, 90. That's right between Fern Creek and Mount Washington. 92 mile-per-hour wind gust here. That's Bardstown Road and the Snyder. So you've got Chick-fil-A right there. You've got Kohl's. This is the shopping center right there. 102. So this is straight line winds, but like an EF1 tornado. So that can do damage to your home. We're going to get power outages.
New tornado warning has just been issued for Jefferson County, Oldham County, and Shelby County until 8:45 p.m.
It's because of that right there. So if you back out and take off the velocity, Alden, southeastern Jefferson County is where we're going to have that tornado warning right there. So that is exactly what we're looking at. So that's right at the Snyder in Bardstown Road, where we've got that right there, that mess. So potential tornado southeastern side of Metro Louisville. That includes Fisherville, Eastwood, Simpsonville. Eastwood at about 8:38 heading your way. Please be seeking shelter immediately. Hopefully you're inside seeking shelter anyway with that severe thunderstorm warning and all these damaging and dangerous winds that we've been talking about here over the last half hour. Eastwood heading your way at 8:40. Connor 8:40. Simpsonville into the shopping areas here at about 8:42. Chestnut Grove at about 8:50. Smithfield at about 8:55. And Eminence at about 8:57. So that's moving into Shelby County. Let's back up to view. We're getting kind of cluttered here with all the warnings that we have across the area. We've got the tornado watch from Clark County, Indiana, Metro Louisville, all the way down to the south. Let's back it up even farther. So some of the worst winds have just crossed over the airport, I-65. The winds should come down soon in Valley Station, PRP, and Shively, and Fairdale, and Okolona. It's that leading edge we're most concerned with. We've got that little bit of a rotation area right here at the Snyder and Bardstown Road. That's where we have that tornado warning. We've also had the same kind of deal here down around Hodgenville, tornado warning up to Bardstown. All along this entire line, there could be little spin-ups every once in a while, little spin-up tornadoes, or just destructive straight line winds. Right here is where we have the strongest winds at this time. Let's go back to the velocity. I want to see kind of the whole line, see if we have any more bright spots, because we're going to be able to point out where the winds are going to be most destructive thanks to this color palette. There's the tornado potential. Let's go ahead and go to the correlation coefficient and see if we've got any debris signature there. When we go product to product, it kind of bounces around. So it does look like we have the potential for a tornado on the ground here near Fern Creek. Here is the Snyder that coming up to Taylorsville Road, and then here's I-64. So right around the Fisherville area is where we have a potential tornado on the ground. Winds in these pixels that we're querying and picking out were 90 to 100 miles per hour. This is pretty close to the radar, so the verification is pretty accurate as far as those wind speeds here. So we got downtown Louisville, the Watterson, the Snyder, Bardstown Road, I-64, Taylorsville Road, that area in J-Town. You'll want to be seeking shelter immediately as we have some destructive winds here moving over the east and southeastern sections of Metro Louisville. And so as we back out a little bit more, that's going to be heading towards Simpsonville. I want to kind of see if we got any other, actually go back to velocity, I'm sorry, but the potential of a tornado on the ground here where we have a tornado warning. So I just want to see the overall view as we back that out. Definitely destructive winds happening there at Bardstown Road and the Snyder, possibly just a little bit east of there. But from there, now moving through Bullitt County into Spencer County, and then down to Bardstown is where we have this bow echo. We talked about this earlier. This is textbook. Here's the apex of the bow echo. Here is a bookend vortice. So that is likely a tornado on the ground in southeastern Jefferson County, Metro Louisville, just outside of Fern Creek. Again, that is the shopping center there at Bardstown Road and the Snyder heading towards the Fisherville area. So that is our biggest concern right now. There's just a little bit of rotation that is moving into, it looks like the very eastern section of LaRue County, the part that makes that L right there. And that's going to be tracking to the northeast into western Marion County. Heads up also Washington County. That squall line is going to be moving over your area, the potential of some damaging winds. So the threat has now crossed over Interstate 65. Areas west of I-65 are in the clear as far as the really damaging straight line winds. Still going to be gusty tonight. Still going to have some winds over 40 miles per hour with that wind advisory. But this is our main concern. Let's go ahead. Let's get out ahead of it a little bit because it's moving so fast. So we'll probably need to do some street level stuff right about here, I would say, because that is the radar scan from just a moment ago. So right about there is where we want to look. Route and Seatonville. If you see your area, we've got to go in close to get to some of the streets, it looks like, but we will get there. So there is Iron Gate Farm, Rush Run Road, Seatonville Road, Echo Trail, southeastern Jefferson County, Metro Louisville is where we have a likely tornado on the ground. We don't have confirmation yet, but this is very close to the radar. Got the potential of some debris from the radar signature, and we've got the pixels showing anywhere from 90 to 100 mile per hour winds. New tornado warning here, Alden, it looks like. So we might have to back out and turn off the product so we can see what warnings that we have. So this is you need to be seeking shelter right now in southeastern Jefferson County. So this is just south of the Snyder, just crossed over Bardstown Road, heading to those areas.
Sorry for the delay. I'm looking at the chat here and trying to get a MetroCam area, view. New tornado warning has also just been issued, but the National Weather Service indicating the potential for a tornado debris signature in Metro Louisville, specifically near southeastern Jefferson County. reporting radar evidence of tornadic debris in southeastern Jefferson County. It could be this location right up there along 265 and I-64, but also possibly there between Fisherville and the route area. As for that new tornado warning that was also just issued, that is for Franklin, Jefferson, Shelby, and Spencer counties until 9 p.m., located near Taylorsville, moving to the east at about 65 miles per hour. I'm going through all
I think it's that whole line. We're starting to get tornado warnings instead of that severe thunderstorm warning because of how incredible these winds are that we're seeing. So this is southeastern Jefferson County. So here is the Snyder, I-265, I-64, J-Town, Anchorage. Everybody here needs to be in the lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows, seeking your safe place. All the things that we've talked about up until this point, you need to be taking that action right now. Here's Fisherville. Now southeast, the debris signature that we're talking about, this is probably debris that's being spread from a possible tornado that's been in southeastern Jefferson County. But actually, maybe just straight line wind debris, I think, is what we're getting as well. So possible bookend vorticity tornado right there. So
sorry to change the camera on you so quickly, Ben, but this camera is located at I-64 and I-264.
Okay.
The traffic we can, the traffic we can vaguely make out there is what's moving westbound. So very, very slow moving, very, very heavy rain for those vehicles that are on the road. As a reminder, do not take shelter underneath an overpass if you know someone that is out there on the road. And frankly, you should not be traveling anywhere at the moment. But that's I-64 and I-264. The traffic that we see coming towards us is westbound. You can see traffic moving there very, very slowly. Also in the general area where it's believed that there is a confirmed tornado in the metro area.
That's a little bit to the west. If you can get to the Snyder, a little bit east of there, probably Echo Trail, east of 265 on 64 is where we have probably the strongest winds at the moment. Let's go back to the reflectivity. I want to see what's on the ground here on the southeast end. So that is, we got the purple color with that tornado warning as well. So this is some bad stuff here right around Fisherville, right along 265, the Snyder, between 64 Bardstown Road, where we've had some problems. Now, Bardstown Road, around the Fairmont area, we were talking about earlier, that threat is now just east of you in far southeastern Jefferson County, just south of 64. That threat's going to be moving into the Simpsonville area, southwestern Shelby County. Very strong damaging winds moving into Spencer County as well. Taylorsville, please be seeking shelter. So let's go to the velocity here. This is moving so rapidly. It's not going to last long. You need to be in your place of shelter probably only about 10 or 15 minutes until that moves out. There are some of the very strong and destructive winds now east of Bardstown Road, bumping up to Taylorsville Road, but this is moving so fast. Once we get a new scan, this is likely going to be all the way over here into Shelby County. So this was just a moment ago. That orange right there is probably, I'm thinking about 90, 100 mile per hour winds. This is at route. There's Whitfield. 101 is the wind speed right there. So
Ben, I have a new traffic camera I want to show you.
Yeah.
This is I-265 near Taylorsville Road, which is fairly close to that area. Let's take that full screen so we can see that a bit better. Camera shaking around there very strongly in the breeze. Cars are moving quite slowly, so it's possible if there is a tornado or any damage in that or high wind speeds in that area, that's about where it's going to be. Again, this is I-265 near Taylorsville Road, so fairly close to that area of rotation that we're looking at. I'm still going through all of those Trimark cameras, and this is moving so fast, it's a bit hard to keep up with it.
They need to be off the road. It's unfortunate that folks are driving around in a tornado warning where we have, it looks like very close to the confirmation of winds in excess of 80, 90 mile per hour winds on the ground, southeastern Jefferson County. So also we're getting some debris, and that's getting pushed out of Metro Louisville and into Shelby County. So the products get updated, a few seconds off. So we had strong winds here, debris is here. So you got to stick with what's out ahead. So now Finchville, southern Shelby County, you need to be seeking shelter at this time. We've got some of that debris on I-64 into the Simpsonville area, Shelbyville Road, Highway 60, and then we got more debris up here to the east of Anchorage heading into, again, Shelby County. Let's move this just a little bit farther to the south. I know you're trying to do 5 things at once, Alden, so take your time, but there you can see more debris along this squall line. Damaging winds into Taylorsville Lake, central Spencer County. Seek shelter. It's better now in Mount Washington, better in Bullitt County.
Then we have, we're getting tornado reports in the chat at 8:34, about 4 minutes ago. Post 12 reporting EMS in a tornado in the J-Town area. Kentucky 155, approximately 2 miles north of Spencer County. EMS in their vehicle reporting a tornado. And western Shelby County, Kentucky, reporting a wind gust of about 70 miles per hour. So we are starting to get confirmed reports of a tornado that occurred in the J-Town, in the Jeffersontown area, and these are moving very, very quickly off to the northeast at about 70 miles per hour.
These could be various tornadoes, probably multiple vortexes within this line, possibly, but that's the north end. Again, what we're talking about textbook, here's the bow echo bookend vortice. So on the end of the bow echo is where we often see a tornado, especially when you get this kind of organization and this strength. Please stay in shelter if you see your community or you live nearby. Simpsonville, Shelbyville, Clay Village, Harrisonville, lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows, into your safe place. Pleasureville, Alton, Frankfort, and Peaks Mill, all here over the next 20 minutes to a half hour. Downtown, still gusty, but the severe weather threat is now moving east of Jefferson County. We're likely going to get quite a bit of damage reports here. This is moving so fast, Alden, that it's outside of that original tornado warning. So it's already past that. So we've got that new tornado warning. It looks like that goes into Franklin County, covers up a lot of Shelbyville. Let's take the product off and just look at the warnings, because there are just so many. We're trying to keep up with all the warnings that we have across the area. So for Metro Louisville South, that's where we have a tornado warning that includes areas just to the east of Bardstown. There's the Bluegrass Parkway. Just between Springfield and Bardstown is that tornado warning. Really anywhere along that line there could be these little brief spin-ups. And so just wait till it crosses over, and then you're going to be a lot safer. Areas west of I-65 are all clear as far as the tornado and the damaging wind threat. So now our biggest concern is far eastern Jefferson County, where there'll likely be some damage around the Fisherville area, around Bardstown Road and the Snyder, J-Town. Likely we're going to get some damage reports, more power outages there as well. Between Taylorsville and Shelbyville is where we have straight line winds that are in excess of 70, 80 miles per hour. Still some very strong winds around Fisherville. That's dangerous winds in Finchville, the Figs area, Normandy. There's Kentucky 55. Winds in excess of 50 miles per hour easy in these areas. So there is Shepherdsville. Here's I-64, Shelbyville Road, Simpsonville exit right there, Shelbyville exit along 64, and then you're down south to Taylorsville into Spencer County. All in these areas here. Stay inside in lowest level of your home. These winds, even if they're just straight line winds, we see just, but could still be as strong as EF0, EF1. Tornadic winds can do damage, can blow roofs off structures. We're going to get report after seeing these kind of winds
New
on the radar.
tornado warning has been issued. Let me see where this one is.
It looks like it's off to the north.
This tornado warning is for Franklin, Henry, Oldham, and Shelby counties until 9:15 p.m. Tornadic producing cell located near Shelbyville, moving northeast at about 60 miles per hour. So this is basically an extension of the area that we've been looking at.
Yeah,
also, I have
it's right around there. Yep.
I have a new camera I want to show you too. Max, if you can take Max 3, please. This is the camera on I-64 just to the southwest of Shelbyville. Very, very heavy rain blowing there. You saw some of that lightning that's also going, and you just can't see much out there. There aren't too many streetlights in that area anyway, but this is very, very close to that area that we're reporting possibly up to 100 mile per hour wind speed. So this is along I-64 just to the south of about the Simpsonville and Shelbyville area.
Yeah, I wish we weren't seeing any headlights in these camera views, because very dangerous to be out on the roadways with winds like this. It could literally knock a car off the roadway here along Interstate 64 in Shelby County, and then south down to Taylorsville Road as you move into Nelson County. There's been some very strong winds too. This is really, really tough stuff here from Simpsonville down to Taylorsville. We've got a new tornado warning that moves into Oldham County. In fact,
and just in, Shelby County Emergency Management received a report of a tornado on I-64 near Simpsonville in Shelby County. So that's on I-64 near Simpsonville, probably right there in that general area.
Right there, and that's near the camera view that we just showed you as well. So that is right there at the Bluegrass Shops in Simpsonville. And let's go ahead and back our view back out here a little bit. There's a lot of areas that could be impacted by these damaging wind gusts. And let's take off the velocity. I want to see the new tornado warning that goes into Oldham County and into Henry County. So these tornado warnings are huge because the amount of wind that we're getting. So we got two here combined. This one is this area right here. You're going to be fine here in just a moment. The severe winds are moving east of the Snyder and out of Jefferson County. Southern Oldham County into south central Henry County, just south of Newcastle, all of Shelby, most of Spencer, and then into Franklin County under 1 or 2 tornado warnings right here. So stay inside. Got to stay in the lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows. This line is moving east at 50, 60, possibly 70 miles per hour, so it will not take long if you can just get to your place of shelter and stay safe for a few minutes, and then that threat will move off to the east. We'll show you who's in the clear, along with who is under the threat of these damaging wind gusts with this squall line. Let's go back to regular reflectivity here, Alden. Lots of lightning strikes with this. We're getting reports of quarter-size hail. We've talked about for a couple days that all the threats were on the table with this squall line, and that's what we're seeing. The one thing that's kind of good about this, it's moving so fast that we're not seeing any flooding reports so far. So here's LaGrange. Here is that potential tornado on the ground reported here by Simpsonville near Interstate 64 there at that exit. This is tracking to the northeast very rapidly, 60 miles per hour, 70 possibly. So be in your place of shelter here. Just south of LaGrange, Newcastle, Oldham County, be seeking shelter anyway. You're too close for comfort. So Newcastle, Eminence, Shelbyville, all these areas need to be in your safe place, and then that's going to be heading quickly to Franklin County. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the overall view once again as we look at our entire viewing area. So the squall line is now east of I-65. So if you're anywhere west of I-65, yes, these can be gusty showers, but the severe weather threat is almost zero for you. So the severe weather threat west of I-65, the western section of the viewing area, is now a lot safer. In fact, all of southern Indiana looks like we are out of the woods as far as severe weather. Gusty rain showers left over, some rumbles of thunder. The worst part that we're looking at now is just east of Louisville, east of Metro Louisville. It's that bow echo right there. When that bow echo connects right there in southeastern Henry County and Shelby County, that's where we have the best potential of a tornado. That's that bookend vortice right there. And then we've got some other kinks that we're watching in the line south of the Bluegrass Parkway, east of I-65. That's moving into Greene, Taylor, Marion, and Washington counties. All these areas need to be seeking shelter under that severe thunderstorm warning, including Adair County. So that is a new, huge severe thunderstorm warning covering these areas. New tornado warning, by the way, here, Alden, in the western half of Marion County, covering all of Washington County under that tornado warning. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer to that threatening area. That is just east of Elizabethtown, south of Bardstown. We've got some hail cores in here as well. So Springfield, Lebanon, be seeking shelter now. Willisburg, again, all of Washington County, Kentucky. And then the western half, or let's just go all of Marion County, stay inside, lowest level of your home. New bow echo, there's the apex. When they come together at the next bow echo, that's where we have the potential of a tornado. We've got some rotation here. High likelihood there could be an EF0 or EF1 on the ground within that segment right there. So we've got some rotation there near Lebanon. All these areas be seeking shelter. This is going to move through Marion and Washington counties in the next 10 minutes. That's how short that the threatening time frame is going to last. It's moving so fast to the east. Again, we're talking 50, 60, 70 mile per hour winds, or even in excess of that, but that's how fast the actual line is moving. It is now east of Bullitt County. It's east of LaRue County. It's about to be east of Nelson County as well. Metro Louisville, by the way, the severe weather threat is now off to the east of you.
And speaking of Metro Louisville, Ben, seeing here LG&E reporting 16,000 without power in Metro Louisville at the moment. So if you have lost power, as a reminder, hopefully you're watching us, or if you if you have lost power and you're not watching us, that doesn't help you. But if you do lose power, you can still watch us on our WHAS11 app. We're streaming live on Facebook, and we're streaming live on YouTube and WHAS11.com. So you have multiple avenues to still get this warning information to you. But 16,000 people within Metro Louisville currently do not have power. Also, this is a delayed report, Ben. You've been saying all evening these reports will come in later, but LaRue County firefighter getting reports of some possible damage in LaRue County from earlier, but also seeing a reporting that they had possibly seen a funnel in that area at about that time as well. I don't have any new updates on any of these other current tornado warnings, but I do see a little notch there south of Shelbyville that
let's go back up that
take
way.
a look at that.
So we'll go back up to Shelby County and Henry County, southern Oldham County. This is a ragged looking line right here. This is producing damaging winds. We're back up to 80, 90, 100 mile per hour pixels right here near Shelbyville and down into the southeastern sections of Shelby County. There's Harrisonville. So we say it over and over again, just please stay inside until that moves over. Lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows. South Central, actually pretty much all of Shelby County, still stay inside until this moves out of your way and into Franklin County next. It's going to be heading your way, Frankfort, very, very soon. So there you go, over 80 mile per hour winds. You remember, it was a few weeks ago, we had 68 mile per hour non-thunderstorm wind gusts that caused over 10,000 power outages with LG&E. We're getting winds way in excess of that. This is a powerful squall line of strong to severe thunderstorms that is now moving east of downtown Louisville, east of Jefferson County. This is the area that is seeing the most threatening weather in Shelby and into Spencer County. Look at that color that goes all the way down through Taylorsville. The worst of it is typically on the leading edge, but all of this could be causing some damage here in Shelby into Spencer counties. Let's go a little bit farther to the south as well, Alden, and see. So these are damaging wind gusts here in Nelson County, just east of Bardstown, Bluegrass Parkway right there, all the way into Washington County, Springfield to Willisburg, damaging wind gusts expected, and into Lebanon as well. Let's go farther south. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings that take us all the way down into Taylor and Adair counties. Potential, we're not seeing as close to the ground, but still the potential of damaging winds. And a big reason for this is all that sunshine we got late this afternoon caused the air to become really unstable, unfortunately, across the area, and causing a lot of problems with the amount of the potency and the powerfulness of this thunderstorm, this line of thunderstorms across the area. So looking at that leading edge, again, southern Indiana, it looks like you are in the clear as far as severe weather. That squall line has moved out of southern Indiana, out of Metro Louisville. There are still going to be gusty winds in excess of 40 miles per hour through late tonight, but not in association with these damaging wind gusts that we're talking about. So we're just zooming in here around Shelbyville. This is where we have the most threatening weather right now. There is a look at Hemp Ridge, Southville, a little bit closer here. If you recognize some of these roads, Private Drive, Painted Leaf Court, Owl Ridge Road is where we got potential damage. There's Rock Ridge Road. We're in Shelby County. Woodlawn Road. You've got the potential of damage in your area. There's Hooper. There's Interstate 64. Clay Village got a new severe thunderstorm warning. So a little bit closer, there's Hooper, Station Road. So all of these areas, you need to be seeking shelter at this time. That is winds that we're looking at in excess of 70, 80, 90, maybe even 100 miles per hour, moving through Shelbyville, east of Taylorsville, now through Nelson County, and moving into Washington and Marion counties as well. So the severe weather threat is going to come to an end pretty rapidly. let's go ahead and go to the lightning counter really quickly. 217 lightning strikes. Again, this has just been a mess of a system. We still have some tornado warnings across the area. The tornado watch continues for Metro Louisville South, but that's going to be canceled pretty quickly here as the tornado threat is going to come to an end rather quickly here for us as that severe weather threat is rapidly moving to the east. Let me load that back up here for you. So areas east of Louisville and southeast of Louisville is where we have the most threatening weather. We still have that tornado possibly on the ground over much of Shelby County into Henry County, Newcastle, Eminence, Shelbyville, Taylorsville still be seeking shelter at this time. I'll go ahead and let you take over once again, Alden. So yeah, good news, bad news kind of thing. We're going to have some damage. We've got a lot of power outages. We've had some tornadoes. We have had damaging straight line winds, but this threat is moving out very quickly. We talked about 9:30 would be the time frame when the severe weather threat would come to an end, and that will likely cancel the tornado watch early. This is the debris that we're still seeing flying up in the air from the straight line winds, possibly embedded tornadoes. Washington County here, worst of it just east of you in Springfield, heading to Mackville, Willisburg. Little spin-ups really anywhere along that line. There's Highway 150 from Springfield. Again, this is Washington County. Let's go back to debris. That's really interesting here, Alden, that really anywhere along this line. These are hurricane strength, tornado strength winds that could be actually straight line winds. So this is debris flying up in the air all along the squall line. We go south and we're still seeing the debris in Marion County and into Taylor County. So this is all likely causing some areas of damage, power outages as well. Let's go north now. So this is Taylor, Marion, Washington counties. There's this damaging line of winds in eastern Shelby County. The worst of it is over for you in Shelbyville and Simpsonville. There's a look at the potential of a tornado here near Newcastle and Eminence. This is southern Henry County that's moving to the Monterey area, Peaks Mill. Next up, Frankfort, Franklin County. You guys are going to get the damaging straight line winds within just a couple minutes. Frankfort be seeking shelter at this time. No travel recommended whatsoever on Interstate 64 near Frankfort. Very dangerous winds, again, in excess of 70, 80, 90 miles per hour. It is now not threatening. We're in the all clear as far as severe weather in Oldham County, most of Shelby County, and into Jefferson County, Metro Louisville. Again, it will stay gusty. It's going to stay wet. We'll have some rumbles of thunder, but as far as the really dangerous, damaging winds, that threat is moving east rapidly. Still stay in your place of shelter over much of Henry County, especially the Newcastle area into Eminence, southeastern sections of Henry County. There you can see the Kentucky River right there. Still looking at the potential damage in the far eastern side of Shelby County, bumping up to the county line, Franklin County right there. Let's go south here a little bit, Alden. I know you're checking on a few things at once. This is the debris. This is why we're showing you this product. This is the debris tracker. This is showing you that the radar is picking up of just various things flying around in the air all the way down to Willisburg. Let's go to the reflectivity or the velocity, either one, just to match it up with the debris. And we're going to see that the bow echo, the squall line is still there. Anytime we get the pink and the yellow colors, that's in excess of 60 mile per hour winds and a big swath of it as well. Again, we're talking hurricane force winds right there just east of Taylorsville, excuse me, and Shelbyville. The winds, let's go to Metro Louisville and check the wind speeds off the ground here close to the radar. I know that I mentioned the severe weather threats off to the east. I just want to see what kind of winds we're dealing with behind the squall line. It's probably still going to be a little bit on the gusty side if we can query some of those pixels right there. So there you see 45, 30 mile per hour winds. It's going to stay gusty, but again, the damaging wind threat is to the east of Louisville. No longer a damaging wind threat in Metro Louisville, in the city of Louisville, and actually most of our viewing area is almost done with the severe weather threat. We are still watching these areas to the east and southeast of Louisville, which has the most threat of damage and straight line wind damage, and maybe some embedded spin-up tornadoes as well. So Shelbyville, still some very strong winds, down 64, down Shelbyville Road, Highway 60, Taylorsville to Lawrenceburg, Bardstown to Willisburg to Springfield, south to Lebanon, strong winds likely, little spin up possible there southeast of Campbellsville. There's little highlights of green next to red. That indicates the potential for spin up tornadoes down into Columbia. Stay in your place of shelter. This is all under at least a severe thunderstorm warning, if not a tornado warning.
New tornado warning.
So let's clear the products and go back to just the warnings to see how many that we have across the area. The new tornado warning looks like it's for Franklin County.
Franklin, Henry, Scott, and Shelby counties until 9:30 Eastern time. Thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 8 miles to the west of Frankfort, moving northeast at about 55 miles per hour.
And that's what we were just highlighting. So we gave you the heads up here, Frankfort and all of Franklin County. Stay in your place of shelter until this can clear out. As we've seen so many times tonight, it does not take long. We're talking maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then that severe weather threat will come to an end for your area. So that threat is moving out of Shelby County, moving out of Spencer County, and anywhere west of the red, we are no longer under severe weather threat. Southern Indiana, no longer severe weather threat. Anywhere along and west of I-65 is no longer under that threat of severe weather. Still some very strong winds over much of Shelby County. This is the biggest area of concern. That's where we see probably 80, 90, 100 mile per hour winds going down Highway 60 to Frankfort, Interstate 64. There's these little wobbles here, these little kinks in the line. Any of those could be these little spin-up EF0, EF1 tornadoes. The National Weather Service is going to have a busy day tomorrow doing storm surveys because of all of the damaging winds. We got straight line winds mixed with rotation as well because we've likely had several touchdowns as far as maybe EF0, EF1 tornadoes, maybe a couple even a little bit stronger than that. So the wind threat still exists for areas just east of Shelbyville. Still very strong winds that could come down to the ground here, anywhere from Taylorsville over to Lawrenceburg, Bardstown off to Willisburg, and Springfield, Kentucky. So a track on the most dangerous winds that we have now that Alden just put on there. So this is just telling you to stay inside over the next half hour in Christiansburg, Frankfort, Peaksmill, Versailles, Midway, Georgetown, Sadieville, and the Corinth area. So some of these areas are moving out of the WHAS11 viewing area. Lexington is going to pick you guys up. So we're very busy here on this Wednesday night. We thought we would be. Very strong system. Out ahead of a very strong cold front. Very unstable air thanks to all that sunshine that we got late in the day. We're seeing winds well in excess of 60 miles per hour, up to 100. We're getting more damage reports. We're getting power outage reports. Last power outage update was 16,000 in Metro Louisville. You got anything new over there, Alden?
Just under 18,000 customers without power in Metro Louisville. That is the largest area, but LG&E is reporting total about 22,000 customers without power. That includes Metro Louisville, the most, Oldham counties, Shelby, Spencer, Hardin, Bullitt counties along I-64 down towards Hart County and the Munfordville area and back to the west near Brandenburg. So right there along that line, as we were seeing those strong wind gusts and those spin-up tornadoes moving through, it's probably in those locations that are seeing those power outages. But Metro Louisville, the highest at the moment at over just under 18,000. But thankfully, since we've seen that main line move through now, the winds aren't quite as strong as behind that. So hopefully we won't see any additional power outages from that here in the metro.
And as you mentioned, it's moving so fast that the severe weather threat's going to come to an end very quickly as well. Still the strongest winds behind this jet that we've had moving across the area. Low-level jet causing damaging winds just have tied into that line of strong to severe storms. So this is Christiansburg, Clay Village. This is Shelby County. We've got Shelbyville right there. So still looking very, very gusty in Shelby County. The worst of it is moving into Franklin County. Right behind me there is the capital, Frankfort. So that is where folks need to be seeking shelter at this time. I know you guys get our signal too. We share you with Lexington. In Franklin County, please be seeking shelter at this time. There's Benson, there's Bridgeport. The yellow pixels are typically around 90 to 100 miles per hour. This is some serious stuff. Seek shelter at this time. You've got tornado warnings. We've got several tornado warnings still happening. Still some really gusty winds in Henry and Shelby counties and down into Spencer County. Let's go ahead and look at the overall view once again, Alden, and put back on the reflectivity, maybe even the lightning strikes. So we're probably getting a few lightning strikes back behind the line, and then you run out of lightning strikes with just some moderate to, at times, some heavy rainfall. Heavy rainfall back to the southwest as well, but that is not the squall line that we're concerned with. So there is the damaging and dangerous winds east of Louisville around Newcastle to Frankfort, east of Shelbyville. This takes us down east of Bardstown. This is the debris tracker.
I put on the debris tracker,
yeah.
Bing. A report came in here on the chat just a minute ago of an observed tornado. They're continuing this tornado warning for Franklin, Henry, and Shelby counties until 9:15. Confirmed tornado was located 9 miles to the southeast of Newcastle, moving northeast at about 60 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's that one right there. And the debris is out ahead of it. So that was just south of Newcastle earlier, so that puts it up to the northeast. Sometimes those circulations can be pretty low to the ground and kind of mixed in with the damaging straight line winds as well. It can be very, very small. So this, yeah, right about that location right there, there's Bethlehem, Dellaville, Lockport. So much of Henry County, still seek shelter, lowest level of your home, away from the doors and the windows. Put as much space as you can between you and the outside walls. And the basement is the best place to go. If you've got pillows and blankets, if you've got time to do it, protect yourself even more. Hopefully from all of the talk of the severe weather potential we've done over the last couple of days, you've had a chance to be prepared for this, and hopefully you guys are doing okay there in areas east of Louisville right now. So, and I just want to mention that Metro Louisville has some gusty winds, but as far as the dangerous, damaging winds and that threat of severe weather, it is now off to the east of Louisville. Still looking at some very, very gusty winds over Henry and Shelby counties. The leading edge is the most concerning area. That is heading right towards Frankfort, so that's why you guys have that tornado warning. Again, let's just look at the warnings, just because, again, there's just been so many to try to keep track of here over the last hour. So the whole chunk here from Newcastle down to Columbia, Kentucky is a severe thunderstorm warning. Embedded in that, we've been getting some circulations. That I want to point out, I say this quite a bit, the tornadoes can be just as damaging as the straight line winds, vice versa, along this entire line right here. So that is the area that is under the threat. This is moving east at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. It's going to be, unfortunately, Lexington problem, I-75 here shortly. If you have any family members out this way towards Georgetown, Lexington, any travel up I-75, it's going to be a dangerous situation here over the next hour as it moves out of our viewing area here very shortly. Okay, we go back to the reflectivity, and then we'll go to the velocity and the wind speeds. So there's the threat pushing east of Louisville, still Newcastle, still Frankfort under that threat of severe weather. There you can see a couple of those tornado warnings in Henry and into Franklin counties, and then that tornado warning still in Washington County, Kentucky, around the Springfield area. So very rapid movement. Right now it is up to 9:06. We were talking about 9:30 would probably be the time frame when the severe weather threat ends for the WHS11 viewing area. Then we're going to be collecting the damage reports. We'll have that coming up on WHS11 News, the night team. We'll have the power outages for you. We'll have crews out there surveying the damage. National Weather Service, again, as I mentioned, will be very busy surveying the damage tomorrow as well. Tomorrow will be cleanup day. Crews will be out trying to get the power back on. And thankfully, we've got sunshine and much calmer wind conditions for tomorrow. The weather pattern is going to be much more peaceful and calm over the extended outlook through Easter weekend after we get through the mess that we've had here tonight. So things are looking a lot better on the horizon once we get this through. Henry County still very gusty. If you can hit some of these pixels, Alden, sometimes we can, that might be off the deck a little bit above the treetops, but every once in a while those gusts can come to the ground. They get a little channel. So that whole area is probably in excess of 50 or 60 mile per hour winds that could still be doing some damage, still possibly causing some power outages as that squall line and that bow echo continues to travel to the east very rapidly. 75 there near Frankfort, 68 just north of Frankfort. 68 caused thousands of power outages just a few weeks ago. 73 just out to the west of Frankfort. So anything that's that pink lighter color indicates winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. That's an impressive jet that we have pushing that squall line. Harrisonville, Shelbyville, still 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts. Not all that necessarily is hitting the ground at once, but every once in a while we could be getting some damaging straight line winds all along in those areas. And let's back up the view, same product, and then let's do the loop of this maybe over the last hour or so. It's going to be very impressive as it moved. Look at that. That is amazing. It started off right about there and just expanded. That is the jet coming to the ground along that squall line. So right there at Fort Knox in Meade County, that's the damage we got in Bullitt County. That's the tornado in southeastern Jefferson County around Bardstown and the Snyder and Fisherville. That tornado right there. That tornado moved into Shelby County around Simpsonville. And then we had another tornado possibly northern Shelby County into near Newcastle and Henry County, now around Frankfort. So just amazing. You got that channel, that jet to come down to the ground right about here and then just fans out. So we're going to have damage all along, just here and there throughout those areas. So not only that is a bow echo right there. There's the apex, the center. There's the bookend vortice tornado. This is stuff that's just in textbooks right here as far as bow echoes and Boeing segments along a squall line. So very, very impressive here.
Some good news here I'm seeing from the Weather Service. They're going to, it appears that they're going to allow a lot of these tornado warnings to expire. So the tornado warning for Franklin, Henry, and Shelby County will be allowed to expire when that ends, coming up here at 9:30. And within the last couple of radar scans that we've also have had, those wind speeds haven't looked as strong. We're no longer seeing as many little kinks along that line. It's been kind of evening out just a little bit. There's not as much fuel for those thunderstorms to work with as they continue to move east of I-65, still producing a lot of very strong winds and could also still cause a little bit of damage. But thankfully, they're allowing those tornado warnings to expire no longer. In fact, they just canceled the tornado warning for Franklin, Henry, and Scott and Shelby counties in Kentucky. That tornado warning has been canceled. And looking further down the line here as we just look at our warnings, outside of that warning there in Washington County, no other tornado warnings for our viewing area, and they're also letting that tornado warning in Washington County expire at 9:15 p.m. So that's coming up here in about 10 minutes. About 5 minutes.
So now we're just switching into the straight line wind issue that's going to be moving into the Lexington market as it moves towards Interstate 75 and then out of our viewing area. But just amazing how much real estate, how much land is covered in these severe thunderstorm warnings. We haven't seen this happen very often or lately. So that threat is almost coming to an end. The tornado watch will be canceled early for our area. It was until 11 p.m., but it looks like here in the next 5 or 10 minutes, the severe weather threat will be coming to an end through the rest of the night. Now, with that said, we've got a wind advisory until 2 a.m. So even without some thunderstorms, still some very gusty winds. We still have some jet stream energy out there. There still could be some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds through late tonight. That can be loud, can be bothersome, can blow things around the yard. But as far as the severe weather threat, that is going to come to an end pretty quickly. Heavy rain off to the southwest is going to be moving back through the area. We're still going to have some scattered showers through part of the overnight as the actual front still hasn't moved in. This is all well ahead of the actual cold front that still has to move through later on tonight, but we're not concerned about severe weather with that front. This really used up the energy that we built up earlier today with that sunshine. Let's go ahead and look at the very eastern edges of our viewing area and see if the leading edge is out of here. And then we're going to be wrapping things up here over the next few minutes as the severe weather threat is beginning to come to an end. So that leading edge is now out of our viewing area. So that is the most concerning area heading towards Hustonville and Danville, again outside of the WHAS11 viewing area. The velocity should show the most dangerous winds moving off to the east. There is Springfield, Lebanon, Campbellsville. So very soon you guys are going to be in the clear as far as the damaging winds are concerned. Still some really gusty conditions here, but not as bad as it was. And then going off to the north, we just got to get that jet out of here and then we'll be in a lot better shape. Still very gusty, but that leading edge is moving through Frankfort right now. That's where we have still the potential of some damaging straight line winds. That's why we have this whole area still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning continues here for Henry, Shelby, much of Spencer, and Franklin counties, and then areas to the south that include Washington, Marion, Greene, and Adair counties as well. So the threat east of Louisville now, we've got some damage reports here that we can check out. We've had some very strong winds in excess of 60 miles per hour at the airport, 61 gust at Standerford Field, Muhammad Ali International Airport. Hardin County Emergency Management reported baseball-sized hail near Radcliffe. And that hail is on the radar as well. Emergency Management reporting the roof blown off a home in Custer in Breckinridge County. That was at 6:42 Central Time, so 7:42 Eastern Time. That was a little bit earlier as we were tracking that through Breckinridge County. More reports down here to the south in Union Star. I've got a report of some hail and some damaging wind gusts in Hardin County and Breckinridge County. We're going to get more and more and more of these reports. Again, our WHAS11 news crew will be heading out there to check on some of the damage that is likely in southeastern Jefferson County. What you got there, Alden? You can go ahead and jump in if you want.
A lot of these are just reported wind gusts, but I am seeing here on chat in Shelby County, first responders reporting to a large tree on top of a house, and first responders also reporting numerous trees and power lines down in that same area around the Benson Pike region in Shelby County. Also, any new severe thunderstorm warnings are being issued outside of our viewing area with the exception of Franklin County.
All right, so we are going to probably be wrapping this up very soon as the severe thunderstorm warnings will come to an end for much of our viewing area. We're going to collect damage reports. We're going to have a lot coming up on WHAS11 News, the night team. It looks like that tornado threat coming to an end for the viewing area as that squall line, that bow echo that has caused so much trouble here over the last hour and a half is now moving out of the WHAS11 viewing area into the Lexington market. Areas along I-75 in Lexington and Georgetown are going to have to deal with what's left of that. Hopefully that'll be on a weakening trend for them. Again, it's going to be cleanup for us over much of the area for tomorrow. The crews are going to be back out there trying to get that power up. There are thousands without power. We're going to have all of the latest coming up on WHAS 11 News, the night team at 11 o'clock, so stay with us.
Hooray. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Feel free to
Thank you for
forward those to
doing
us.
such great camera work for Alden. That sounds nice.